public, right? Hey, hello. Quelqu'un? I'm streaming. What the hell? Je sais pas quoi ici. Shortwave.
Technical problem. We have a technical problem.
Slash.
Live.
Where am I?
Is it working?
Yep, we're on.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know why it does. Oh, it just decided to start now. Okay, was long, but it's there finally. So we'll start up. So hey everyone, welcome to this very different shortwave show today. We're gonna tune around the bands a little bit, of course, but using portable receivers like the Texan PL680 and my GP5, and I've got a few other radios there. And who knows, maybe we'll check other radios. I don't know what it's going to look like because we're inside with wires. And so I expect a lot of noise, but it's going to be an interesting test. So hey everyone, welcome to the show. Nice to have you on board. Hello there, my iMapper from Moscow. Jerry, hey there. By the way, Jerry, I have to talk to Tim for the email you sent me. I'm really sorry. Bobby Burgess, hello there. Vanouy Deoto in the Netherlands. And Scotty Tier 6 from sunny Toronto here at sunny Montreal. This is my nephew, Gabriel.
Good day, everyone.
And he's going to be the newbie because he's not, he's got my Texan PL 450 receiver, and he enjoys listening to some stations for the news, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he's not very, knowledgeable in shortwave. It's really something that's not much of. It's. I can't say it's for you a hobby. It's just the interesting moments of listening to some news from Radio
Somewhere
Japan
else.
or whatever. John Ritson, hello there from the UK. David Harden, hello there. KJ4CMY. Am Station. Cheers, everyone. So I'm located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. We are located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And this is a shortwave show we have every 2 weeks on Fridays at 2000 hours Universal Time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern. And I hope that you guys will enjoy today's show. Movie Man 44, hello there. F.O. Welsh from Ottawa. Hamid Segin Duran, I hope I'm saying it okay, from Ankara, Turkey. Wow, that's cool. Cool. People from all over the world. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. And I hope you guys enjoy it. If you are tuning around the shortwave bands in search of signals, please share your loggings and your listening experience. We'll try to receive it here, and we'll try to put a little bit of audio on the stations we can receive on our radios by putting them close to the microphone. And hope everybody enjoying the show. Yes, Jerry, I will teach him everything. After when I depart this world, he's going to continue the shortwave shows. He'll be listening to the noises and the weird things because there won't be any more news and stations in 20 years or 30 years.
20 years is going to be the space news.
Yeah. Sarah Nair from India, hello there. Luis Arevalo. I kind of switch it. Los Angeles, James Megawatt, hello there. And pretty cool. Nice to have everybody here.
A lot of good people.
Yeah. So you listen a little bit to shortwave?
Yeah, once in a while. I do.
Did you come across something interesting that you find is worth listening to regularly, or?
Well, like you mentioned, I often listen to the news, like Radio Japan, Radio Romania, and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I cannot say I really search for unusual stuff. Of course, when I tune in and I hear some kind of country that you never hear, that's always cool. Well, I heard Egypt once or twice. At my place, I don't hear it often.
Okay.
And that's cool.
And did you convert to Brother Stair's
Brother Scare?
Brother Scare, yeah. The world is 6,000 years old, and
we never went to the moon.
We no, of course we never did anything, and dinosaurs are just
it was only the Flintstones.
Made up. Yeah, they're made up.
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna pray after the show.
Okay. So tonight we'll have a session of Brother Stair listening. I'll take out all my radios. We'll try to have as many radios tuned to all the different frequencies of Brother Stair.
Oh my God. I don't even think you have enough radio for that.
You know what? That could actually be a very interesting video. Every receiver, there's going to be 18 receivers, all on a different frequency with Brother Stair.
Oh my God.
On it.
Can you imagine how much money he makes to have at that many stations?
Well, yeah. Well, he spends millions in airtime, so I don't know.
But if you send him $20, won't all your dreams come true?
I don't know if I guess they're recent. I'm not sure if they're recorded Brother Stair stuff. No, they're recent because he's always ranting against Glenn Hauser, because Glenn Hauser always rants about him, and he always basically rants back at Glenn Hauser, which is always interesting listening when he starts to rant at Glenn Hauser a little bit. But anyways, X80Xer, hello there from Northwest Arkansas. 66 Fahrenheit, that'd be nice. I'd like to have 66 Fahrenheit here.
Yeah.
It's more like 30 Fahrenheit here.
Yeah.
Something like that. Neil Toombs, hello there. David Arden, really nice to have everybody on board. So we'll tune around a little bit. If you guys listen to something also on your sides, please do share. And I will start off by using a feature that's unique to this little radio, which is easy tuning mode. I'm going to let the radio scan in search of signals. And of course, if you find something, or if you have a question on how to really use the radio.
Well, I know the basics.
If you want to listen to international broadcasts, for example, 15,000 and up will be better than going down, because you're not going to have. But, just tune around and
we'll see.
Find something. And so you're using the Texan PL680.
Yeah.
I'm using my GP5 SSB. We also have here, I got my Degen DE 1103. I've got my Texan PL380 here. And who knows, maybe we'll fetch other radios and see what happens. So, yes, Jerry, I did. It's interesting, but it's really low power. It's amazing. That Antarctica beacon on 14101.1 USB. I really need to try and pick that up. I'd love to listen to that. Another one that I'd like to is, I'll try 15140.
140.
Not very strong.
There's something around here, yeah.
Yeah, it's Radio Havana, Cuba.
Oh.
Not very strong on portable receivers. Let's try another one here. So nice to have you. Hey, we have a space lobster.
What?
We have a space lobster. Hello there, SLNY8. So yeah, nice choices of radio. We're going to try to pick something up. Jeff KD5 QDO. Nice to have you on board. Let's try to receive Cuba here on the DE 1103. See if I can receive it. Yeah, very noisy here. But it's not strong, because I usually hear it even in my living room. So it's not much the noise. It's really not making a lot of signals here. What else do we have? What frequency are you?
15365, something in Spanish.
Oh, it's 370.
370?
Yeah, if you go up, you should hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Radio Havana, Cuba in Spanish.
In Spanish.
So we are getting Radio Havana, Cuba in Spanish on 15370. That's one. There's Radio Exterior de España 15390 that you should get.
390, yeah.
So Radio Exterior de España.
Yeah, I have it.
That one always has a pretty good signal. Mm-hmm. It's a shame they don't have English and French anymore. So
nobody listens to it anymore. So
yeah, but you know, they used to have these nice programs, and
yeah, of course.
They came because you know what? That station, you don't know the story behind that. It left shortwave, but the government forced it to come back.
Okay.
But they only have Spanish now. So
15500.
15500. I do believe that is also
Havana.
No, this is also Spain in Spanish. Radio Exterior de España. And Neil Toombs receiving Cuba and the Noise on 15140.
Yeah.
If you guys have any radio questions, of course, I'm here for that. One thing I did not bring up is the other chat room. I'll bring up the other chat room here on the IRC chat. I'm going to check that out. Yeah.
I think I found a familiar voice.
Oh, really? Well, hey, everyone in the other chat room. I'm in the IRC chat also now. Sorry. Brothers there! Woohoo! Amazing. What's mostly amazing is how strong that guy is compared to every other station. I mean, the voice of God is really something.
Brothers there around 15705, 15710.
Okay. While checking out the easy tuning mode, use the keypad and do 9420.
9420.
That's the voice of Greece. So this is the voice of Greece. Enough music now for the copyright notice.
Yeah.
PLF, hello there, PLF. Nice to have you on board on the other chat room. Sorry, I forgot to do it. So 9420, pretty interesting. Greece is really coming in really well on 9420 here.
What would be on 9395?
It's True News from WRMI in Florida.
Okay.
And you can imagine that a station called True News, you gotta be careful the type of news they're talking about. So anybody receiving Greece 9420, it's a pretty good signal here. I gotta say one thing, the Greek music makes it exotic. It makes it kind of, yeah, okay, I am listening to another country.
Yeah. Isn't that what we hear in Tintin?
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. And 9420. What is your give or take on the MFJ 1778? Let me, Space Lobster says 9420 coming in S20 plus. That's a pretty strong signal. Let me just check here about the MFJ. What? It's 1778. That is okay. G5RV wire antenna. That could be nice actually. If you have the space and the possibility of hanging something like that up, I think that could be a nice antenna to have for your shortwave listening, Bobby. So it's a pretty nice MFJ 1778 G5RV wire antenna. Looks nice. Hello there, Steve in Australia. Nice to have you on board. And by the way, for those that just joined, this is my nephew Gabriel. He's the, sometimes you just, I know, okay. First of all, I know you guys always told me that if I have somebody else that doesn't talk much, it should be a lady with big boobs. But
I don't have the money to have boobs.
I have my nephew. I hope that maybe he's gonna attract the beautiful women in the chat room.
I'm single.
So okay, young beautiful women might want to see Gabriel instead of the old guy that listens to the radio. PLF says 9420, very strong.
Yeah,
so that's pretty good. Hey, Nick Casalino from stormy California. Yeah, you guys are really having bad weather down there. And I'm actually enjoying right now the GP5 SSB from CountyCom. And nice to have you all on board. And so, yeah, Greece. I like that. David Arden saying that someone interested in shortwave is cool enough. That's
Thank
true.
you.
That is true. Most of the people say, what the hell is that? Bobby, in reception, you don't really need a tuner. It's of course, if you do put a tuner, you do get a little bit more signal. That you will, because of course it does resonate to the frequency you're listening to. But I gotta say that a tuner for listening is really not required. You will have a pretty good reception without a tuner. Hey there, Simple Electricity and the Czech Republic.
What's on 7280?
That we'll have to check. I think what's the language?
English.
I recognize the voice. That's China Radio International.
China Radio?
Yeah, it's that program called the China.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's always kind of interacting with that lady. Neil, it's 9420 kilohertz for the Greece station, the Voice of Greece.
Yeah, that's the guy from China, of course. I heard him before.
I'm surprised. 9650, Radio Guinea is coming in. And just with my indoor antenna, with music.
Yeah.
So this is Radio Guinea in Conakry. It's really nice. An African station.
That would be interesting with the one I've got home to see. I have less noise at my place.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How would I hear this?
Probably better.
That would be cool.
That guy is really lucky. I actually give him my Texan PL for 50, and at his home without an outside antenna, he hears all of these stations
that you don't.
That I have a lot of difficulty listening to here, because he doesn't have noise, and he's like 10 minutes away from where I live. You want to switch places?
Well, maybe sometimes we can try something, like if nobody's home or through Skype, do something and see the difference.
The antennas we are using right now are simply clip-on antennas. So he's got on his Texan an antenna that he clipped at the top that just goes over here up to close to the window. And I have a...
Well, I have one of those.
I have a... Yeah, you have, I believe, yeah. And I have a kind of 100 feet wire that's all wound up near the door. And it comes to me with, a little alligator clip. So that's all. We're antennas are inside. So it's still surprising, especially with the fact that you got two computers running.
Smartphones around.
And usually that means impossible to listen to shortwave radio.
And the number of wires you have in the other rooms.
Yeah. So, 9650 Radio Guinea in Conakry is coming in with a pretty good signal. Pretty amazing.
And we are relatively near a telecom tower too.
yeah,
building.
but that doesn't usually affect.
Well,
it's mostly what's inside here.
Yeah, but it could be surprising.
So that's what I need to do. Set up an SDR and leave the computer in SDR at this place and listen through the SDR. Hey there, Paul, in Toronto. Nice to have you on board. Oh, that's cool. Vic Casarino says that we have Francesco Latono from County Com. So welcome aboard. Nice to have everybody here. We slowly are moving up. We're at 39 viewers right now. That's single sideband. Yeah. You want to try single sideband?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, on the right side there's this SSB.
Yeah.
Click on it once. It says upper sideband USB.
Yeah.
Click on it again because that signals in lower sideband.
Okay.
Now, just 1 second. Here you got the BFO. You'll notice that there's a dent. So tune it, turn it, and you'll see that there's a dent where it stops. That means you need to leave it at the dent. So put it where there's the dent.
Okay.
Now tune again that signal. Try to find it. Okay, go back down. Go back down. No, put it. What you'll need to do is put it at. It's that that's the newbie listening to a single sideband signal. So you have here, and then you play with the VFO.
Okay.
And try to clarify. Okay. That's an amateur radio operator on the 40 meter band. So he's listening to 7150 lower sideband. There's an amateur radio operator right now.
It'd be nice to hear Al Qaeda.
So, man, I'm not. I don't. Well, they might be on shortwave, but I don't know. So nice to have. So that's your first single sideband, but you see it's touchy. You got to understand where to stop, and then where to play with the BFO.
Yeah. Well, isn't it the noise from Star Trek?
Absolutely.
So they're using single sideband.
PLF loves the Scooby-Doo stuff behind us. Yeah, that is our. That is basically what the hell can we put on the wall so it's not white. And we see these Scooby-Doo towels, and we're like, let's put the Scooby-Doo towels. At least it's not a white wall. It looks a little better. It gives color in the screen. So, hey Thomas Ryba, nice to have you on board. You're in Montreal? Hey there, Mod Boy. Hello there, Brent Wilson. Nice to have you here. Pretty cool. At the tent. Yeah. And what else do we have here? No, nobody can share links on the chat, unfortunately. So that's pretty much. Yeah, it is difficult to tune. But when you're not used to, and you're the first time you listen to a single sideband signal, if you want to try one, try 6604. Now press the SSB button to have it an upper sideband.
Okay.
And now you should hear some kind of weather broadcast.
Yeah, I do hear something.
Hey, he was able to tune it. Woo! We got a winner. Woo! Let's applaud his first single sideband signal.
What do I win?
The right to another beer.
Oh. The beer that I paid?
Yeah. So, hey, Mad Boy, everybody. Nice to have you here. There's a lot of things, Luis, about that. There's the fact that you will have. By the way, that's what we call a VOLMET. It's a aeronautical weather station.
Oh, okay.
And that one is in Gander, Newfoundland, Canada.
Oh, nice.
And they alternate. There's for 20 minutes it's Gander, Newfoundland. The other 20 minutes it's New York.
Oh, okay.
And so New York gives the weather for all the American airports, and Gander gives the weather for all the Canadian airports.
Oh, okay.
So that's what you're listening to.
Okay.
So you see, there's all sorts of types of signals on shortwave. Yeah. That's why, you know, when you start listening a little more, you're like, that's kind of interesting. So what else do we have? Yeah, so Louis, that's the thing. You know what? Congrats. So yeah, you know, his first single sideband. So basically, it's the noise. There's one thing about noise that's, you know, very, very difficult. So that's radio teletype. It's a digital mode that sometimes can be decoded with your computer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Most of them are encrypted, but there are a few that are not.
Okay.
So that's the discovery of shortwave.
Yay!
So that's what I looked like the first evening that I turned on my first radio, and I was like, what the hell is that? But you know, it sounds so mysterious that you're like, what is that? And how would I be able to find out what that is?
Yeah. Now you understand why people believe in extraterrestrial life.
So basically, yeah, we'll actually go here, and we'll do this. Here we go. And that person actually that I just kicked out of the chat should be careful, because by the type of things that he wrote, I actually know who it is, and it's somebody that you guys also know. And I could be really, really bad and mention a name, which I will not, because I'm not a bad guy, by the way. So 9660, there's Vatican Radio with its interval signal.
Oh, wow.
Well, you know what? Vatican Radio sounds like Brother Stare, but it's not.
Okay.
They actually have one of the great news services. Of course, thrown in, there's some news of what the Pope said today, but still, it's interesting. So, 9660, Vatican Radio.
Yeah, just the fact that you hear Vatican with something so small. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and just a piece of wire.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, it's like you'd think that you need some really amazing setup.
You don't need a computer, you just need this.
And
that's cool enough for me.
You got an $80 radio with a piece of wire, and you're listening to Vatican, you know? And it's on 9660, so it could be from somewhere else too. Let's just check it out here. 9660. You need the iPad that you have to scroll when you have a really huge list. 9660 from Vatican Radio is actually, let me check, is it from the Vatican? Because sometimes they relay. You know, like Japan, for example, that relays.
You remember that time when...
Talking of Japan, try 9855.
9855.
And remove the single sideband if you have it on.
It is.
Oh yeah, you'll hear something. Yes, it's there. There's a signal right now. Wait till it starts talking. You'll know what it is.
Okay.
You'll be happy, actually.
But you remember when we were talking about Radio Japan relayed by Madagascar?
Yeah.
And we're like, is it Madagascar farther from Japan?
Yeah.
Farther from America than Japan? And it is.
Here, listen.
I hear.
What is that?
Oh. So that would be Radio Japan in French? No, English.
That's in French.
In French, yeah.
So the Radio Japan in French from Madagascar, by the way. So it's like, what, 13, 14,000 kilometers we saw?
Yeah.
And
Japan is 11,000.
Right now, what we heard from Vatican is coming direct from Vatican State. So that's cool. Let's try it out here. So Radio Japan from Madagascar.
Bonjour à tous, nous sommes le vendredi 17 février. Ce bulletin d'information de 21h30 vous est présenté par Delphine Ferreira, Jean-Gabriel et moi-même Étienne Barral. Tout de suite, les titres de ce bulletin.
That's cool.
Somebody's asking if I kidnapped you and forced you into shortwave. Help! Help! For the beer, because I saw the question about the beer, he bought a 12 case of mixed beers from the same company that actually makes Fin du Monde. So you've got...
I've got the Fin du Monde right here.
I've got Maudit, which is what kind of damnation in English, something like that.
It would like damn it.
It would be like damn it in French, Maudit. But it's a damned beer, basically. So cheers, everybody. It's very, very colorful, as you see here. It's
cheers to you.
Look at the colors, different colors. So cheers. Welcome to the shortwave stuff.
Thank you for inviting me.
And please don't show the handcuffs that are on your hands.
I'll try to.
So we have Radio Japan in French on 9855, sorry, from Madagascar, really, and it's coming in really well, just on the portable receivers. This is what I call listening from the couch. I always say in my live shows that it's very difficult. Somebody will buy a shortwave radio because they see my videos, and they sit down on their couch or on their favorite chair in the living room, and they're like, I don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Because there's too much noise. So here I'm halfway between you and that person. I have more noise than you, but I still can do some listening here.
Usually when I'm home, what I also do, I just unplug everything I can in the room. Just because it does create a lot of noise sometimes.
Yeah, there are some chargers that are amazingly noisy.
My Surface Pro charger is quite something, I will tell you.
I will use again the easy tuning mode, and we'll go through each station that it stopped while it was tuning around.
Oh, that would be nice.
So I think that's going to be cool. So it's going to find a number of stations while it's searching, and we're going to go through the stations and see what they are. So I think it's going to be cool. Apart from that, hello there, Danny, Shortwave Radio DX. And by the way, the offer is still there for some of you. If you have a shortwave related YouTube channel, please let me know what it is. Next week, I will feature other shortwave channels via videos on my own channel.
That's cool.
So I think it's going to be fun because it's going to, help everybody that have channels. So
9915?
That's the BBC World Service from Ascension Islands in the South Atlantic Ocean.
I like listening to the BBC.
I like NewsHour. NewsHour is kind of nice.
Is really nice.
But if you ask in the chat room, everybody in the UK, they're all going to tell you that the BBC is boring.
Well, it's like here listening to CBC.
To the CBC. I get all these people saying, hey, the CBC is so cool. And I'm like, I don't really listen to the CBC. It's something I don't. I like NewsHour. NewsHour is interesting. Yeah. And here we're lucky because we have NewsHour that we can listen to. From VPR, a station in Vermont, on 107.9, and it comes in like a local station.
So when you use the shortwave radios, it comes in really well, actually.
Yeah. So, could there be as good a shortwave channel as this? Yes, of course. Yes, there can be other shortwave channels that are great. There are quite a few, actually.
No, they aren't.
And we will talk about them.
You are the best.
I am the best, but there are other ones that are really good also.
No, everyone else sucks.
No, there are some good shortwave, and we're going to talk about that for sure. So, pretty cool. I'm not gonna mention that channel name, and because I hope he goes to hell. So what else do we have here? Yeah, Hamrad 88 is great. Hamrad 88, Tom Styles is amazing. He's got a great channel. Vanu de Otto says 4625. The buzzer. No, it's too early here to listen to that, but the buzzer is a Russian military signal that everybody, it just buzzes every second, like a beep.
Okay.
But people listen because sometimes the beep stops and there are mysterious messages in Russian. And everybody's like, what was that? What does it mean?
It's the word Snowden.
So maybe. So
yeah, 9935, great music.
It is a great, yes, a great video, Scotty. You are right. Dennis Davidson on his channel posted a video of Bandscan while he had a power outage.
Okay.
And it's just amazing. When you see that the power's out, you know, I always say when the power's out, all the neighborhood is really sad of not having power anymore.
Except
I'm probably
you.
the only one that's really happy and that hopes that it's going to be a few hours before it comes back.
When was it? Last time there were a power outage near my place during summer, I went with my brother in the park with the Texan PL450. It was really cool.
Yeah.
We heard a lot of cool stations.
Oh, yeah, it's amazing. When there's no noise, it's just amazing. That's where you see that all the electronics around us.
It was the first time I heard Iron, I believe.
Really, creating a lot of problems.
I think that time was the first time I heard Iron, actually.
Iran?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Carol T, nice to have you here. Derek Hudson, nice to have you here. If I missed anyone, just say hi. Yeah, Oxford Shortwave Log is a great channel also. And he has all these great videos of the expedition that he goes to. It's really amazing. So, I did a easy tuning mode scan with the CountyCom GP5 SSB. Sounds like a commercial, but I want to make sure that you guys know what
does it auto-wash?
So, yeah, it autos everything.
Are there wipers in the screen?
It follows me around. So,
does it catch Pokemon?
Yeah, that would be something. A shortwave radio that can work with Pokemon Go. So,
Pikachu! Oh, well.
Well, he is, you know, he's tuned, Carol, you missed that. He's tuned his first single sideband signal. So that's pretty cool.
And I'm a geek in every way, so I'm open to this kind of stuff, and it's really cool.
Hey there, Mad Radio DX. Nice to have you here. Hello there, Roger. And what is the radio your guest is using? He's using the Texan PL680. So that's the radio that he's got. You know, I thought if I have to give him a radio to do something, I'm going to give him the good one.
Give me the hardest to use.
I'm going to give him the good one.
Let me figure it out.
So the easy tuning mode functionality. Of course, it got Grease 9420. It got Radio Marti from United States on 9565. Do you get 9565?
Wrong number. Yes, I do.
Not bad.
Quite a good signal.
So that's a station, by the way. Radio Marti is a station that is aimed at Cuba.
Okay.
From the United States with, you know, kind of U.S. propaganda for Cuba. Let's call it like that because it's pretty much that.
Oh, well.
But it's okay, you know. So, yes, I know I am spoiling him with the PL680. Someday, you know, he's going to be on his own. He's going to say, hey, I want to have a shortwave radio. He's going to buy one in a store, which is a crappy model. And he's going to say, why don't I hear everything?
I'm going to keep the 450.
Yeah, but he's got a great one.
The
Texan PL450.
It's really impressive.
It's one of the best receivers out there.
For
I can tell you that.
Its price, for the size, it is really something.
Yeah, it is amazing. It is amazing.
Wasn't it?
So,
you know, first time ever you brought me with you for shortwave. I had the 450 and you had, I don't know which one. and I was hearing stuff you couldn't.
Yeah, I don't remember which one I had. I don't remember which one I
It
brought
wasn't.
along.
It was something. I believe it was a small one like this, and maybe another one.
Yeah, I don't remember what I brought. Every time I go to the expedition at Perry Island, I always have a different radio.
That's cool.
No, Carol, I told him that when I die, I want the 8500 in my tomb and in my coffin, and but he's gonna probably get all the rest of the radios and the old computers.
So in 50 years, the next Tomb Raider game is gonna be Tomb Raider Shortwave Amateur.
He's gonna get tons of money because they'll want to do a show about what happened in 1950 in the year 2050. And they're going to say, hey, we need to have a shortwave radio. Where can we find that? There's no more shortwave radios. And he's going to show his collection. And it's like, oh.
Well, I know where there is an 8500, but you have to pay for it.
So 9660, Vatican radio in French.
Yep.
So this is Vatican radio in French.
Considéré comme le principal journal indépendant du pays, le pape avait déclaré en juin 2015, 2 mois avant l'élection présidentielle, du fisc qu'il reprochait l'équivalent de plusieurs millions d'euros d'impôts impayés.
So, oh really, Scotty? You reserved your R8600, you lucky bum. I'm jealous. I want an 8600. And with the state of my finances, I should have it by 2045. Between the two that I'm using, what would be my favorite? I gotta say I love the Texan PL 680. It's an amazing radio, but I am extremely surprised at the GP5. I gotta say this little radio surprises me a lot. Do I have the Grundig G5 with me? No, but if anybody wants to see a specific radio, I can actually go and get it and tune around. So I'll get it in a few minutes, PLF, and we'll try it out. Okay, 9690 Radio Exterior de España with a really good signal.
Yeah, we heard it earlier
on other frequencies.
Al equipo del Sporting. Rafa Quirós, Asturias, buenas noches. Buenas noches, Francés Robi, entrenador del Sporting, convoca a 19 jugadores para recibir mañana en el Molinón a la 1 de la tarde al Atlético de Madrid. Harán descarte.
So now you must translate. What did he say?
Well, you talked about Madrid. So it stopped on Radio Japan from Madagascar French on 98.55. There's something on 11750 that I don't know what it is exactly.
11750?
Yep, 11750. I have a hunch. I think this looks, by the type of music, sounds like Adventist World Radio in Africa. So let's check it out. So 11750. Yep. It's in a local language, but this is Adventist World Radio, and it's transmitted from South Africa.
That's cool.
So you're listening to a signal from South Africa with what sounds like very African music, basically.
Aren't we listening to the Lion King?
Almost. Yeah, Adventist World Radio, PLF, thanks. I got the iPad here with the schedules just in case I need them. 11775, this is the Caribbean beacon from the island of Anguilla in the Caribbean with the annoying religious broadcasts.
Well, it changes from Brother Stair.
11825, I won't say what it is. 11930, Radio Marti. That's Brother Stare. That's why I prefer not to mention. I always say that I don't mention the Brother Stare frequencies anymore. So Radio Marti 11930.
Yeah.
Not very strong, but WEWN on 12050.
That is the only thing that is going to drive it
12050.
Yep.
Well,
That's WEWN. Well,
strong enough. It's strong enough.
Oh, it's better now. Maybe I had a little downwards. I got a DX100, which is my first, the realistic DX100 is my first ever shortwave radio. That's what I have, and I still have it. It still works. And of course, today when you compare it to the other radios I got, it's a crappy radio. But you know, when it's the first thing that you have, and back then there were so many stations that every 5 kilohertz you had something to listen to.
Oh, that
was kind of amazing.
Really nice.
12160, very good signal from WWCR, Nashville, Tennessee, USA.
One of his proposals. Require price transparency. See, once we have the money and once we have competition between insurance companies, we still need to know who is charging what. So we need to know transparency about
He's right.
Healthcare providers.
That's the kind of stuff we hear every day.
Hospitals and doctors charging for these different procedures? What are their success and failure rates? We need to know that information if we're going to have
Gabe should be required to master the DX100 before he gets a chance at the R8500. Well, if he uses the DX100 and still wants to continue listening to the radio, I will give him the 8500. Because that DX100 is like, okay, especially if I ask him, you have to find me 20 single sideband signals on that DX100.
Okay.
And I wanted to hear them clearly.
I'm scared.
Oh, man. Yeah, I would need to get my AM license eventually. So,
we're going to get.
He says to me, is one born
13845 is WWCR.
Our faith is vain. We are liars. We're false witnesses of God. We have testified that God
We are false witnesses of God.
Yeah.
I can confirm that.
Interesting to tune around with these shortwave receivers. Let's try a little bit of single sideband. I'm going to take this one because it's kind of easier to tune around, and we're going to try some the 20 meter amateur band. But that's Morse code. That's the 20 meter amateur band, by the way.
Okay, I don't know Morse
And
code.
starting at 14100 and up to 14350, if you put the radio in upper sideband, you'll hear amateur stations. So let's go here. I'm going to go to 14100. Here we go. Try 14186.
and low end to get off the line and get to moving. Well, it's been my pleasure. Let me put out one or two more calls. I've got an appointment from the phone call at 4:30, which is 40 minutes from now. So I'll clear the frequency after I chat for a couple more. And then I better get to my appointment. I've got a job to look at. I'm self-employed, Paul. So I've got to go look at a job. That's what the phone call was about a moment ago. So anyways, Paul, good day.
Didn't even give his call sign.
Any other DX?
Well, I could, yeah. Scotty tier 6, but
Wow. G6 Whiskey Yankee.
keeps my wire clipped on a lot higher instead of having it at the bottom. So that's why I actually take the antenna out. Well, if I understand well your question, Bobby, about international broadcasts and listening just to international broadcasts, you need a good schedules on the internet. Find yourself the good schedules, and from there you can actually see what's on at every hour. Then you need to mostly find out what's the international broadcast bands on shortwave, and the international broadcast bands are
14256.
N4DK. N4DK is Donald, and he's in Roswell, Georgia. So N4DK on what?
14256.
14256 upper sideband. And he's calling another station that he wants to talk to. So the international broadcast bands are mostly between 5850 to 6200 kilohertz, 7200 to 7600 kilohertz, 9200 to 10,000 kilohertz, 11500 to 12160 kilohertz, 13500 to 13900, 15,000 to 15,800, 17,500 to 17,900, and then there's the 13 meter band, which is 21,400 up to 21,850. That's pretty much where you find international broadcasts. That is basically 99% of all the international broadcasters are in there. So, Evan McRoberts, hello there. And mountains might affect shortwave. It depends. If the signal arriving from shortwave is at a low, a shallow angle, it's really a low angle, and the mountain is between that signal and you, yes, it could interfere with your reception of certain signals. But if the mountain is quite far away, like here we have a small mountain in the middle of the city, that does not at all interfere with the shortwave reception that I have. It would interfere with, say, an FM station that would be on the other side, because that's line of sight. But for shortwave, unless you live really close to the mountains usually don't have much effect on the reception of shortwave signals, basically. Let me check out here. Okay, and Carol is getting WWVH out of Hawaii on 15,000. Here it was a little earlier. He turned on the radio and 15,000 was WWV. So that's WWV.
Wow. I kind of figured that out.
So now you're getting into 15,000. So technically what I would do is remove the single sideband, because stations there are not in general in single sideband. So this is Crash Course 101 of shortwave radio. You have an exam after.
Oh God. Can I ask a friend?
What was the frequency of the international broadcast bands?
Can I ask a friend?
Phone a friend.
Can I use a dictionary?
Phone a friend. What's the four things?
Ask the public.
Ask the public. Phone a friend.
And 50-50.
50-50. Where is the time signal station? 15,000 kilohertz or 13,450? That's a 50-50 question. Oh man. I do have a lot of noise because here I could see in the indication in the S meter, the LCD S meter, which is a full scale just of noise. It's pretty amazing. Okay, let's see here. Any other signals of interest? 7280, you had something a little earlier. Just check it out.
So this is the show Shortwaves for Dummies, and I'm the Dummies.
Yeah, Shortwave for Dummies.
I once failed my blood test, forgot to study.
Gotta study harder for that, man. So 7285 is China Radio International, relayed from Albania, by the way. So the signal's from Albania. I'm sorry, but my glasses are pinching my nose really bad.
Put your glasses on, you're ugly without them.
Do you want to have a radio up your butt?
I'll think about it.
With the antenna extended.
Isn't that what they call an anal probe in South Park?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, it's better than dealing with traffic.
Anybody else hearing something peculiar on shortwave tonight? Apart from that, I've got a little bit of news also from Radio Australia. There's still that, basically there's still that guy in, that politician, the congressman there in Australia that's still working hard to try to bring back, Radio Australia on the airwaves, but we'll see. You know, it's a very difficult task. You gotta remember one thing is that they've removed Radio Australia, and I gotta say, bringing back Radio Australia will be difficult. It really feels like the same type of problem that, you know, the CBC here had with Radio Canada International. Basically, it feels like the ABC, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation, they want to make sure that Radio Australia doesn't come back because they don't want to pay the millions of dollars that it costs to keep it on. But there are a lot of islands in the Pacific, a lot of little countries that are saying that they're really, really fine that it's sad that they've lost Radio Australia because they don't have any news anymore. A lot of them relied on the signal from Radio Australia every day to know what's happening in their region, in the Pacific area, to have the weather forecasts. Some of them are saying, you know, when there's going to be hurricanes or really bad storms, it's going to be really, really horrible because they were relying on Radio Australia's broadcasts.
We tend to forget that some countries or islands are still pretty low on technology and are like, 30, 40 years behind of us?
Yeah. And
they still use this.
And, you know, it's shortwave.
You know, I would be surprised by how, you know, East Asia, how much they still use these. Well,
there's interesting numbers. One of the things that, you know, as you're mentioning that, one of the things that we know is that the Asian continent has an amazing number of shortwave radios, the listeners over there. And you could see because the BBC and the Voice of America and all of that concentrate a lot of their radio on shortwave towards that region. That area is still you know, relies on shortwave a lot. And basically, you know, they don't understand that the best way to, you know, go across the Pacific, one shortwave transmitter goes across the Pacific. You know, it's just amazing when you think about it. And now, well, there's probably tons of people in remote areas where there's no real FM reception or anything that have nothing, you know, they don't have the news from Australia anymore. PLF, from what I know, all the transmitter sites and transmitters are still intact. So as long as the antennas are up and the transmitters are fine, there's hope. But here they did a really bad thing. Here the CBC wanted to make sure that they could not come back to shortwave. So here, the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, they just smashed the antenna as fast as they could. And only a few weeks after they were removed from shortwave, the transmitters were gone, the antennas were down, because they wanted to make sure. Because once you take that down, forget it. The price is going to cost to bring back up everything. You just, screwed everything, that's for sure. Hey there, David in Barcelona. So, we're having a good time. Are you having a good time listening to your shortwave radio?
Yeah, that's cool.
So, and he's listening in and trying to understand part of what we're talking about.
Just exploring and figuring out stuff.
So, I don't know. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Brother Stair's going to buy the transmitters in Australia, and you'll hear Brother Stair across the Pacific Ocean. Woohoo!
Oh, my God.
Now, tonight, Brother Stair ranting on Glenn Hauser across the Pacific Ocean. Man. Of course, Movie Man 44, we do have some Cuban number stations. There's on the expeditions, and many times I've heard Russian and Poland number stations. There's still a lot of them on the air. And pirate stations, there's tons of pirate stations. So I hear pirate stations. If I listen on a weekend, I'll hear at least one or two pirate stations, at least. There's still a lot of them. So really nice to... it's fun. I like pirate stations. It's kind of unique programming and very unusual stuff. So it's kind of cool. So I will go and get myself a beer. Are you not too bad?
Yeah, I'm due.
You are due for a beer?
Mm-hmm.
Any request of a beer that you want?
Bring me the blueberry one.
You want to have a blueberry beer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't mistake it for the 10.5% one, please.
Yeah, what's the name of that one?
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, terrible. We have one called Terrible that's 10.5%. So
we'll keep it for after the show.
And I'll pick up my Grundig G5 while we're at it.
Nice to be here, everyone. That's cool. I'm getting my shortwave radio degrees today.
That's the thing.
I'm gonna have my diploma from Gilles University of Shortwave Radio. Oh my God.
And the first round of beer we had Fin du Monde and Maudit.
Yeah, I had a Fin du Monde and he had a Maudit.
Now he's got a FMR
Blueberry.
FMR. And I've got a Raftman at 5.5%.
I'm not even sure I ever tried the Raftman.
I think I tried it once in one of my shortwave stuff.
Okay.
So
there's a second one anyway if I want it.
And I brought the Grundig G5 for PLF so that we can try it out also. So it's not the shortwave radios that are missing off.
You see, they would like it. Gilles University of Shortwave.
Man, that would be kind of cool.
Terrible. Is it an indication of the taste? Yeah, probably.
That's what we're scared of, and that's why we're not starting with that. So, Raftman.
Getting sick in the middle of the show.
Has a nice golden color. So here we go.
Alright, I'm gonna open mine.
Raftman, 5.5%.
I'm gonna just...
Because all good shortwave listeners need a good beer. That sounds like a commercial. I need to have them as a sponsor. Because all good shortwave listeners...
Oh my God.
Something that looks like this, All good shortwave listeners need a good beer. Try Raftman from Inibru.
Hard to open. Ouch.
You're just a sissy.
You want to talk about it? This smells like blueberry.
Oh yeah, it does.
Well, Play-Doh blueberry.
Play-Doh blueberry. Yuck.
Well,
that wouldn't be good.
Just a quick anecdote, absolutely not shortwave related. I have a tea from David's Tea at home that is a lime flavored. It really tastes like what would lime Play-Doh taste like.
Okay.
It is awful.
You know, I don't like these teas that are like with different flavors.
Too tasty.
It's like it's something that I don't, you know.
Well, I have one which is plain tea leaves. That's it.
Okay.
This is one of my favorites. This looks like blueberry stuff.
Yeah, it is slightly colored.
Slightly colored.
Blueberry.
And you see, it's kind of hazy in it.
Gabe Scully Tier 6 got a great joke for you. Did you hear about the two antennas that got married? The wedding wasn't very good, but the reception was excellent.
Oh my god.
That's a good one. I like that one. It's a good one. It's not the first time that he posts it, but I do like that one.
You know, I remember the first time you gave me the 450. That I was writing on Facebook once in a while. Oh, I can hear Radio Romania on whatever channels and these stuff. Some of my friends at school after that were like, "What the heck were you talking about?" Well,
you got to remember when you talk about shortwave, you are like an extraterrestrial. Well, this tastes a little weird.
Yeah.
Actually,
take a few sips. You know, you still have the taste from the Mozit.
The beer from the dam tasted better, actually.
Well, take a few sips. You know, you still have the taste, and actually mine is pretty good.
No, blueberry one is good. I had it actually tells you that case of beer you bought, they must have had that for a long time.
Yeah.
Because I think there's no more blueberry beer since at least November of last year.
It's seasonal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was the last one. It was there 2 weeks ago, and I bought the beer.
Hey there, Philip Briggs. Nice to have you on board. We have William Helms. Hello there. Philip Briggs is from Brazil. William Helms is from Florida.
The curious newbie is in upper sideband, just tuning up and down and seeing. You know, I'm curious, trying to find unusual stuff.
You know what? Go ahead. You know, that's one thing.
I'm figuring it out.
That's one thing, you know, that you gotta be careful sometimes. I'm the kind of guy that always watches what somebody else is doing with their shortwave radio. So I'm the kind of guy.
I won't throw it by the window. Don't worry.
I'm the guy that's gonna be there and be annoying. Like, don't do that. You shouldn't do it like this. And you shouldn't be in upper sideband, or you shouldn't be in. You know. So you know what? You should always tell me shut up when I try to change something.
And I just tell you shut up every time you open your mouth.
Just have fun with the radio, okay? Maybe he's gonna find that signal that we never hear, and it's gonna be that?
We will hear March.
Man.
Omicron per se 8. Is it that in Futurama?
Yeah, in Futurama, yes.
Omicron per se 8.
Well, on 21 megahertz, you can hear some interference coming from Jupiter, apparently.
Oh.
So maybe you'll have the Jupiter sparks.
That would be weird.
Yeah. What else do we have here? Hello there, i588 from Baltimore. Nice to have you here. Pretty cool. It's cool to have everybody on board. Very different. So you guys, you know, that just arrive here, you're like probably just looking at what is that? That doesn't look like the regular shortwave stuff that you hear all the time. And yes, that's the pop-up from my mail saying that I got my favorite recipes for the week.
Well, wasn't it craft dinner recipe?
Well,
oh my god.
Okay, what else do I have here? Speaking of extraterrestrial, my wife keeps saying I am calling aliens on my radios because of all the strange sounds.
Well, today
maybe we are.
And today I am wearing a T-shirt from the X-Files. Actually.
Oh, you got? He's wearing a T-shirt from the X-Files while we're tuning shortwave. Okay.
I thought about it before putting it on. Of course I did.
Let's, we have to be geek and weird, so let's be geek and weird as possible.
And by the way, I didn't listen to the X-Files yet, so.
I never watched one episode?
No, I know what it is, but I never watched it.
Oh, you should.
I know I should.
You should.
You know, I have a list of around 50 TV series I should watch, and this one is somewhere in that list.
Okay.
But
Oh,
you know,
should.
I would need 36 hours in a day.
You know what? I had seen the X-Files. By the way, this show is like that. If you're not used to it, we sometimes go away from shortwave and talk about whatever.
Well, I'm used
And
to
then we go back into.
I'm used to other shows I do with you where we do the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, but
we are here to have fun.
I watched the X-Files, when they were out, and I did not watch reruns afterward. Okay. And they're on Netflix.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
I started watching season 1, and I actually enjoyed it enough that I'm actually watching them all over again.
Well, did you
and
watch
I do
the
remember.
New series? Did you watch a new series?
No, I did not.
Apparently, it's good.
I did not.
I heard it was good.
I'm gonna go through the old ones, and we'll see.
But this shirt I got it in my loot trace I receive every month.
Okay.
This is where I got it.
Okay. Well, I'm a little like Man Radio DXer. You're right about that, by the way. X-Files is kind of a mixed bag. Some episodes are really, really amazing. Some are like, okay, a little boring.
Just like Star Trek.
Yeah. I'm almost done with the original Star Trek, and I just can't believe,
Right now I'm watching Star Trek The Next Generation.
It's just like, hey, Kirk, there's a new planet, and there's some transmissions that we are receiving.
But we don't understand.
We don't understand. Okay, let's go down there without any gear, just with our phasers, and see what's happening. And once they're there, oh my God, they take control of everything, and nothing works. So they're supposed to be advanced, but everybody in the universe is more advanced than them.
In the Next Generation, at least, they're a little bit more intelligent. The first officer doesn't let the captain do anything stupid, but it make it so that the first officer is kind of the star of the show because he's the one going on the planets.
Yeah.
But
man, there's these things sometimes. Yes, I did. Hamid Segin watch Stranger Things. I love Stranger Things. It's a great series.
Did you see the showrunners said they would like to go to like 4 or 5 seasons?
Okay.
I saw something about it this week.
Well, I can't wait.
About Stranger Things.
I just can't wait to have a second one.
It's coming by the end of the year.
Really can't wait.
The showrunners said 4 or 5 seasons, maybe. Yeah, that would be possible. And did you see the anecdote about when the kids met at the prize ceremony? They were like all super happy and stuff because it was like we meet our friends back.
Okay. So
I guess they're enjoying it too.
Hey, that's cool, William Helms with amstudy.org. That got 80% on the tech class practice exam. Really nice.
Hello, Philip from Brazil.
And happy birthday, William. I just went back a little bit, and you guys are used to that. I go back in the chat because I see tons of questions. So
sorry if we cannot answer everything.
Hey, Michael Bott, nice to have you. By the way, PLF says great T-shirt. I'm a fan of the X-Files. So
every time I will come here, I will have a different geek T-shirt. That's a promise I made.
He's the geek guy with the T-shirts and stuff.
I promise you, I'll never have the same T-shirt twice.
Oh, I'm sure. John Ritson, hello there, says. I once tasted a beer made with black pepper and even came with a black pepper sachet. Wow.
Whoa.
That must be...
Can I taste your Rathman just by curiosity?
Yeah, that's the side I probably don't have germs.
Well, I'm not really scared.
What I always say is when you taste something in my glass, it tastes weird, eh?
Yeah.
When you taste something in my glass, it's not the known bugs that are a problem. It's the ones that nobody knows about.
Well, anyway, I believe that if you had anything deadly, I would be dead for a long time. Would have been dead for a long time.
Yeah, I think I would be dead also, pretty much.
I would have been dead when I was...
that's not counting the fact that we go to the same karaoke bar, and we have often the same beer. So I'm pretty sure that half of the time I drink in his glass, and half of the time he's drinking in my glass.
And we don't know it.
Because is that mine? And we just don't know, and we just pick it up and drink.
I would have been dead at 2 years old if you had any deadly disease, I believe.
What else do we have here?
Jay Watterson.
Yeah, Jupiter is on 21 megahertz, by the way. Around 21 megahertz, when Jupiter's eye in the sky, it's pretty surprising. Apparently, it sounds. It can sound like a whoosh sound, like really like a bit like waves from the ocean.
Okay.
Sometimes it's crackling, but it comes from the interaction within the magnetic field of Jupiter.
Yeah, of course.
And apparently it's strong enough that even if you don't have a big setup, some nights it's strong enough that you can really hear it. And there's a few clips on spaceweather.com. Those that go on spaceweather.com, there's a few clips of that.
What's on 9980?
WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee,
Thank
with
you.
probably some religious stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
Or there's also that doctor that thinks everybody's sick.
Can you actually believe that without Jupiter, the Earth would probably not be here?
Yeah, it's amazing, the interaction with our solar system and everything. What else did we have here?
I just saw the word drunk somewhere in the chat.
What else do we have here?
You know, I feel like Nichelle Nichols, Lieutenant Uhura, with her device, trying to listen and understand what's going on.
David, I'm not sure David is going to work, but it's worth a shot. You fit the QSL card in a bottle, throw it as strong as you can towards Jupiter on a clear night. You may not get a response, but it may be worth trying. You might get a response if you really shoot it straight up. You might get it back on your head. So you'll have a response. You might not remember it the next day.
Or even the same night if you're too drunk.
Actually, the only thing I have to say, if you do CQDX to Jupiter and it answers back, maybe you had too much alcohol or drugs that night.
If you do what?
CQDX is a radio term meaning that you're calling for somebody.
Okay. I thought
so amateur radio operators will say CQDX with their call sign. That means I'm calling anyone that wants to answer back.
Okay.
DX the cat is always outside. Poor little kitten. He's outside.
He's been outside for an hour and a half now.
He's been outside for an hour and a half at 0 degrees.
It's not too bad today.
No, it's not too bad.
DX is outside. We're gonna have some DX popsicles. He's running apparently. Oh my god.
You should have seen him run inside so fast. But it's not really cold. If it would have been minus 20, I would have been a little more concerned.
Worried.
But
under the barbecue, he's gonna be safe.
He's he always goes under the barbecue anyway. So okay. So DX the cat will probably come over. Every time we do a live show here, he always comes over and says hello. So
hi, Jeff Miller. Hey, almost 50 people watching live. That's cool. Plus the one on the other chat.
Yeah.
Thank you for inviting me. That's really cool.
No, it is cool. And I thought, when Man Radio DXer, he's the one that talked about, hey, why not do a From the Couch Shortwave? And I was like, that's an idea. It's a different setup.
Could be interesting.
It's a different way of doing our thing today.
Yeah, and once in a while, I'm open to it.
Cool. So we'll have our newbie shortwave listener from time to time.
And we talk about the fact that I have less noise at my place. If we could sometime or someday arrange something, maybe through Skype or I don't know how, see, what you get here. What I get at my place.
That could be interesting.
We live 10 minutes away on foot. So it would be interesting to see what we could do about it.
And by the way, I will post in the chat the Yahoo email where you can send donations if you wish to help me out. It really, really is something that helps me a lot. I would not be here doing this now if in 2016 I didn't have a certain level of donations. I would have not been able to continue on. So it's cool because it helps me, complete with the crappy monetization. So thanks everybody that have donated, by the way. And if you have a little something, please, it's really really appreciated. As for the question on the explanation of how the clip-on antenna works, well, it's very simple. That one is actually a clip-on antenna.
I cannot see it really. I cannot.
It's really made. It's really a little clip that you just slide over the telescopic antenna, and it's made like that. I don't know. It's maybe.
I don't know if you see it.
It's maybe 7 feet, 8 feet long, a little more.
Yeah.
Let's say 10 feet long, and basically it comes with it. Actually, that's the clip-on antenna that came with the GP5. It's in the box with the GP5. Mine is more of a makeshift. I have a 100 feet roll of wire that's hung on the ceiling here, and I just took part of the wire and brought it up to me, and just use. I love alligator clips for clipping antennas to my radios.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I think alligator clips are just cool for that, and so I just clip
cool
one
for
end.
everything. They are cool for everything.
I clip the wire on one end and just use the alligator clip on the antenna on the other end. Works great. Very simple. Piece of wire, alligator clip. Very
The one
simple.
you gave me, I believe, just fits in the radio.
Yeah, you got the one that fits in the antenna jack of your radio.
What's the difference actually between clipping it on your antenna or in the radio jack?
When you put it in the radio jack, there's often a lot of portable receivers actually disconnect, first of all, the telescopic antenna when you insert.
Okay.
And also, sometimes it has a separate little circuit.
Okay.
So if you put a really big antenna, some radios sometimes overload. The signals are too strong.
Okay.
So sometimes when you have it in the antenna jack instead, they have a little circuit that will help compensate the fact that you might actually be putting a much bigger antenna on that radio.
Okay.
That is not technically designed to have really big antennas.
Okay. So should I keep putting in the jack or kind of invert it with crocodile clip and put it on my antenna itself?
If it works well in the jack, I would keep it there. It's great for that, and it's actually made for that.
Okay, good.
So I think that's okay. He's got good questions though.
Well,
we got to say.
I was kind of curious. It's like, does it really matter or not?
Yeah, but it depends, because a lot of these radios don't handle really long antennas very well.
Okay.
PLF. If I've ever heard Jupiter, you know what? I've heard cracklings one evening a long time ago, around 21, 22 megahertz.
Firecrackers in your pants.
Firecrackers in my pants. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised that was probably it, but I can't say that was Jupiter. Unfortunately, it's not something that I can say. Yep, it was Jupiter. So,
I'm just figuring stuff out.
What the hell? I need to check that out.
USB around.
There's a splattering of something.
USB 9450 and up.
9475. Okay, I need to put my clip-on antenna.
Yeah. Go down on USB. That's where I am.
Wow.
In LSB, that's even weirder.
Look at that, guys. Go on. $94.60 and up.
And listen to it in LSB.
There's a major splash of some signal there. Let's put it in AM. 94.75.
What is that? Well,
94.65, like tones. There's like tones on 94.65. And it's on shortwave because I was thinking maybe that is local. but it has propagation. It goes weaker and stronger. 94.75.
65.
Oh, well, it goes all the way. It's very wide, very wide signal.
The tone is 75, yeah.
Yeah, Jerry's hearing it also. Yeah, it sounds like some... I'm not sure if it's a jammer or if it's a transmitter that's just gone bad. $94.75 is actually... It's really horrible. 94.55. Mad Radio DXer says massive signal on the U20 SDR. That's in online radio in the Netherlands. Yeah, it goes from 9450 to 9500.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. Really amazing.
I believe I have China in 9445. Could it be?
No, that's India.
That's India?
Hey, he's got All India Radio with a really good signal, 9445. And here is the mascot of the day, DX the cat, saying hello to everyone.
So everyone, India on 9445.
Yeah, India. Really good signal.
In English. I heard a name I don't want to hear.
There is no alternative. After Mr. Trump went against the decades of US policy, saying he would back whatever formula led to peace. Palestinians reacted with alarm to the possibility that the war could drive support for Palestinian statehood. The last round of Israeli-Palestinian...
So All India Radio, 9445. Really good signal with the
I don't often hear India.
Grenadier G5 receiver. Well, that's probably the best frequency they have for here.
Or maybe it's the time I check too.
There's one thing that's cool about India.
I'm getting electric shock from touching the cat.
Yes, I know. One thing that's cool about India is that we had a scare with India. They almost left shortwave at the end of last year, but then with all the people that wrote in and the unrest, they decided to keep continuing the shortwave stuff, and I think that's really cool. So 9450 to 9500. There's
that's
major
weird.
jamming.
That's weird.
Is it a transmitter that's banned, or is it really, really jamming? But it's amazing. Really amazing. Carol doesn't get it on the West Coast, so it seems to be more like European signal. There's some kind of signal coming from Europe or something. Pretty amazing.
Don't get electrocuted.
Brandy Endel 03, hello there. Nice to have you on board.
I'm just gonna remove the microphone from the tail of the cat.
Cat's tail. Do you protect the radios from possible EMPs? Not really. The only electromagnetic pulses that would destroy my radio will probably be a nuclear bomb. And
Well, what we learned from Indiana Jones, you go in the refrigerator and you're safe.
If my radio gets blasted by a nuclear explosion, I'm probably not there anymore anyways. So, electromagnetic pulses need to be extremely strong. I'm actually more scared at the moment of, for example, I'm petting DX the cat, and if I touch the antenna, I could zap the input circuit. But,
don't touch me.
Hey, Paul, very nice to have you on board. He says it's a jamming Voice of America on 9485. That wouldn't surprise me because it has tones. We heard kind of tones.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a broken transmitter. That sounds more like intentional jamming of something that somebody doesn't want.
Does it?
Yep.
Okay.
It does.
Okay.
It does. So I wouldn't be surprised. It could be jamming of Voice of America. Anybody knows where the jamming could come from? Kind of surprising. Scotty Tier 6 says, my spectrum scope shows lots of noise from 9450 to 9500. Pretty amazing.
Maybe they're shutting upstairs for good.
Well, I wouldn't be against Brother Stair jamming.
But somehow we would miss it too, you know?
Actually, if there would be Brother Stair jamming, they would accuse me of doing it. Amazing. Okay, so Voice of America ends at 2200 UT in 30 minutes. So we'll see if it ends. Could be Iran. That is a extremely interesting idea. Iran jamming Voice of America. That's possible.
If it's in Europe, yeah, of
That's
course.
possible. So you see now the mysteries of shortwave. You know, when you start really listening, you get these mysterious things, and you're like, okay, who's jamming who and why?
You know, as we're doing this, all I keep telling myself is I should definitely be here more often. That's cool.
So you're in India.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fun.
I'm discovering everything, and
so one of the things that I gotta say, one of the things that kept me as a shortwave listener for a long time is also the fact that there's mystery on shortwave. There's these signals that you don't know where they come from.
Could we be hearing from space?
Who knows? Maybe we listen to aliens and we don't know it.
Actually, I don't believe it, but could be.
Yeah, but by the nature of shortwave, one of the things that makes it a little difficult is that since shortwave reflects on the ionosphere, that means a signal on that same frequency that comes from space would reflect back up.
Okay.
Because it would reflect on the other side also.
Okay.
So chances of hearing, some extraterrestrials on shortwave are very small. And
they say nothing's impossible, you know.
They would be on the higher bands, 20 megahertz and up.
What do you want, kitty?
He wants to say hello.
I'll put it there just in case.
DX wants to say hi.
Hi, DX. Hi, Paul.
You know where the name DX comes from? First of all, do you know what DX? That's a great first newbie question. You know what DX means?
I heard about a radio name earlier.
So, because earlier I said CQDX, which means
directly xenophobe.
CQ is you call somebody else.
Yeah.
DX means long distance. Okay. It's a radio term that means long distance.
Okay.
And the reason why Paul has his DX name also is the first time that he showed up, I was talking on the chat room with some shortwave radio guys, and I snapped a picture of him that arrived from nowhere, and somebody in the chat room said, "Oh, call him DX the cat. He's the radio cat." It's like, oh yeah, why not? Why not? So basically, now he's looking at all the wires hanging, and he's thinking, how can I jump on that? You guys that weren't there yesterday, we have a show together called From the Couch.
Which is really cool, by the way.
Which is a tech show on Thursdays where we talk about the last week's gaming and tech news. But DX the cat was behind the couch here. I have a lighting system there, and he started playing with it. And the lighting system started going back and forth, flickering, and it was like a strobe light. And we were just wondering what happened there.
During the second half of the show, we were like, oh my god, something's gonna happen. Something bad will happen.
Okay, Mad Radio DXer says, sounds like a transmitter with bad harmonics. Can hear some sort of music. Thinking about that, isn't Radio Cairo, Radio Cairo has bad transmitters? Is Radio Cairo transmitting around 9475?
Are they transmitter that the pharaoh puts in the pyramids?
It's just, what I find sad about Radio Cairo is the fact that they you can hear the signal, but it's always badly distorted. So what's around 94?
Well, that time I got it wasn't too bad.
94. Let's see here. Cairo is around there, if I'm not mistaken. I'm wondering if it could be Cairo. 94. Okay, so what's around there? Egypt. Is there radio Cairo transmitter somewhere? I don't really see it here, but I don't know. It is a bad transmitter, that's for sure. That's for sure. Very distorted 9450. Heard pips on the half hour. Jerry says China probably jamming VOA.
Could be too.
China does a lot of jamming, that's for sure. But I did hear Iran jamming once, and it sounded different. It sounded more like
North Korea?
sirens or something like that. A little bit like Vietnam. Vietnam, when they try to jam, it sounds like police sirens on the shortwave bands. But it's very intriguing. Very intriguing, I gotta say.
What are you listening to now?
I'm just trying to figure out that.
Okay.
Because on 9460,
You hear the tone. You don't hear in that shoulder.
yeah, there's a buzzing, and I'm not sure. You know what? I'm not sure between a jammer and a bad transmitter. That's pretty sure.
May.
Okay, yeah, there could be radar stuff. But the radar stuff doesn't sound like this. It's usually different. And that's true. It could be something. Yeah, I didn't find it either. Radio Cairo's not there. So there's either a bad transmitter or some kind of jamming on that frequency, that's for sure. Because it's amazingly strong. And I mean, let's look at that. We're going to check it out through U20. Where's the R? Where are you at?
Well, now
Okay.
I'm just going to. Well, I was around 5,000 USB.
Okay. So here, let's check out with this receiver that's in the Netherlands what it looks like on the display at the bottom here. So we'll tune 9460.
What are we doing?
This is a radio that's that's at the University of Twente in the Netherlands,
Okay.
and you can tune it around the world.
Okay.
So this is really a radio online. So you put the frequency there, like a shortwave radio. You got, upper sideband, lower sideband, and so on. So it sounds exactly like that here, but the difference is, I think you can. Let's just put this back here. Look at the waterfall on that thing. That signal is amazingly big. You could see it starting on University of Twente. We can see it starting around 9435, 9440. But it's really major up to just above 9500 kilohertz. This is really major noise. What makes me wonder is, I've seen a lot of jammers, but jammers usually are very narrow band. They will try to jam the main frequency of the transmitter, not a really huge splat of frequency like that. So it's received in the Netherlands really strong. As we see here, it's getting at S9 plus 20 dB. That's pretty strong. That's very strong. So it's received there, and we're receiving it here in Montreal. So that
is a few thousand kilometers away.
Interesting. It's a strong, really strong noise, I can tell you that. but it's amazingly strong. David in Barcelona says at 9465, he's on 9465, it's where the noise is strongest. So if staircase is on that frequency, as I correctly guessed, it may be someone jamming him, as I suppose. I would, I don't think that's radar. It's way too, it's not the type of signal that looks like radar. And I'm not sure it would be jamming, because it's way too wideband for a jammer. You know, if you jam such a big chunk of frequency, you're wasting a lot of power for nothing. So my personal thought on this...
Steve is hearing it in Australia.
Wow, Steve hearing it in Australia. Man, that is one major signal. So it's powerful because we're hearing it everywhere. And this is Voice of America special transmission for Haiti.
Boy.
Since they had earthquake and also the hurricane, they're keeping a special transmission. That's why shortwave is good, because when nothing works, you can bring out your battery-powered radio and listen to something like that. That's why shortwave needs to continue. Wow, so it's heard in Australia.
So it is heard worldwide, basically.
Okay. Danny Shortwave Radio DX says, I'm getting an S20 on that noise on 9460 in Yonkers, New York. It does seem pretty close to 9460 here too. That's my guess, okay, and it's entirely my guess. A radar, this does not sound like a radar. A radar, it's distorted here. It does not sound like a jammer because it's way too wideband for a jamming. I mean, come on. Even China, you know, when they jam, they just jam a specific frequency. I'm wondering if it's not a transmitter that's completely gone berserk. Really amazing. Really amazing. PLF says he hears the noise around 9470 in France. So that's one major signal that's really everywhere.
America, Europe. Anybody in Asia hearing it?
Here's Michael Bott sending out a view of his SDR receiver. And it splatters. Really splatters. Very wide. 94. It's most intense from 9460 to about 9490, 9500 kilohertz. But the peak is really. And we hear there's 9475. What is a WTWW? Do you hear it in between the noise? That's WTWW.
Yes, I do.
But you hear the noise over it, right?
Yeah.
There's kind of that noise is kind of over it. Yeah. So we hear WTWW is in the noise, but I would not understand why anybody would jam WTWW. That doesn't seem logical for me. I mean, except for some religious stuff, they don't really have much to jam. So pretty interesting. We have these, and that's also the fun of shortwave, by the way, is the fact that we are also trying to do detective work. So, okay, who hears that signal and where could it come from? So
who killed the Colonel Mustard in the living room?
Danny Shortwave has the answer. Satan jamming Brother Stare. Finally, Satan doing something that we can actually hear. Well, propagation seems to be quite good. That's true, Scotty Tier 6. That's an interesting signal. So I'll do another easy tuning mode little thingy to see what we can receive as we are trying to understand. Yeah, that's true. And the Stagnag is not that wide. That is very wide. I can tell you that. This is, 50 kilohertz wide signal is it's too wide to be a jammer. I don't think that's a jammer. So our detective work has started, and next time that we see each other, I might have an answer.
All right.
Because we'll see all of that, and I'm sure Glenn Hauser will talk about it on World Radio. Can we ID the signal with this? What is that? Just check what that is. Active common signals. Okay, okay. That's interesting. There's a... Okay. I don't know. I'd have to go through some of the signals. There's a lot of them that I know what they are. But, I'll see PLF. I'm going to keep that link and see if we can... But it sounds like distortion. For me, it sounds really like distortion. Radio Free Asia is on 9455, and that one is a jam transmitter most of the time, for sure. That's true. Did you fart?
No. Is this?
Man, what's that smell?
Don't tell me it's the cat. Come on.
I tell you, the cat when he farts is amazing. They actually have one time that was online.
I didn't dare asking you.
I'm tuning around and it's like, what the hell is that smell?
Oh my God.
The cat? Really? Is DX decomposing or something? What the hell?
Oh my God.
That is horrible. Okay. What the hell is that smell? I'm sorry, guys. I got to investigate 2 seconds. Because
this is incredible. You cannot smell it gladly.
Listen to the smell here.
It
smells there.
only here. That's not me. I swear to you.
Unless I'm decomposing and I don't know it. Maybe I'm becoming a zombie. Wow. This is horrible.
It is only here.
Yeah, it is only here.
What the heck is going on?
Did DX poop on the couch or something?
I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
You would have seen him.
What the hell was that smell? Okay. And it's back. I sit down and it's back.
Oh.
What's that? What's that?
Is it shortwave smells?
We're about to put a fan. I'm going to open the door. I don't care if it's 0 degrees outside.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Something bad happened.
That's weird.
Where's the cushion I had? Where did I put it?
Oh, I have. I have like 3 cushions now, so probably here.
I don't know where I put it.
No, I can't see anything else except the cat or something.
I
didn't fart.
I didn't either. I swear.
My beer? My beer smells like fart, maybe.
Been on the shelf for too long.
It is an investigation, PLF. I will take a look. And you know what I like? And thank you for sharing it, by the way, because I'll make a video about that website. Because one of the things that's extremely useful to have when you are listening to shortwave is to have a resource of audio of all the signals on shortwave. So, Scotty says, it's a good thing we don't have enabled YouTube smell-o-vision.
By the year 3000, you should have it.
And now, welcome to our live show in 3D and smelly-vision. Oh, by the way, I'm sorry, everyone. I see Walt's coming through the chat. I did not have the time. I had a doctor's appointment today, which, doctors, you should be here at 11. And when it's over, it's 1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's why you texted me.
So I texted him, hey, I don't have time to get a beer, and I didn't even add posting my news bulletin on the Windows channel. I was like, what the hell? And at 3 p.m. I'm live. It's like, okay. So I did not have the time to send my emails that I send all the time to advise everybody. I've got an email list of everybody, and I usually send an email out saying, hey, we'll be live at this time. I really didn't have any time. I'm really sorry, everybody. Tomorrow I will. And by the way, as we're talking about shows and live shows, let's take a moment to talk about shows. Tomorrow, shortwave show. I will be doing what I was doing last time. Tomorrow at 2000 hours UT, Saturday, we have the shortwave show. I will continue looking at all of my receivers that I have. So thanks to last time, I actually cleaned all the radios and put them in a different shelf. So tomorrow we will have another set of radios that we'll go through and look at them one by one like we did last time. So tomorrow there's a shortwave show at 2000 hours UT. Hope everybody can join. Apart from that, for people that wonder, on Tuesdays, I have a tech show where I answer the questions of everybody in the Windows channel. It still smells?
Here it does.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty gone here.
Okay, lucky you.
So at 3 p.m., 2000 hours UT on Tuesdays, I have the on the Windows channel. So I answer your questions. I've got a new show on Tuesday evenings at 6 p.m. Anybody that's interested in insider information for Windows that is in the insider program, and even if you're not in the insider program, all you want to have is just and see what's the new stuff, the new features of Windows. 6 p.m. Eastern, 2300 hours UT, I got my Windows Insider Hour show on my Windows Insider YouTube channel, one of my many 1,500 YouTube channels. You know what? You're laughing, but when I went into Google Chrome on the TV, Google Chrome syncs everything. So I have not ever went on the YouTube channel for Shortwave on the TV. So I went to YouTube and I said, no, I want to log into another channel. And when I clicked the little box for the email and I saw this big list of emails, that was like, really, that's all the YouTube channels that I've opened over the years. Okay.
Well, why don't you subscribe to my channel with all of your channels?
Yeah, you'll get to 500.
In 6 hours.
So, I don't know. Some of them I should look again and see what I could, maybe do. Maybe if you have ideas, we could transform some of these. There's a lot of
gaming channel.
Yeah, well, I have the one there that could be useful for that, and we need to do something.
We will. We will play NHL and MLB together, and I'm gonna kick your ass.
So, anyways, after that, of course, we have shows. I want also to say I'm taking a break from the wideband YouTube show. It's the one that has the least views of all the shows that I do. And with the show that I'm doing, because on Thursdays we have From the Couch Tech Show. Now, I have so many shows running that I have to make a choice. Unless, if I don't make a choice, I'm going to kill myself somehow. I need a little time, so...
Won't help?
So the wideband one is going to be, I stopped for now. And so every 2 weeks, on Friday and Saturdays, we have the shows. But in between, I'm taking a Friday and a Saturday off. And I think it's good because when you do a lot of shows, he had an interesting comment. He started posting on his channel, The Proud Geek, some news bulletins every day. And plus, we have our show From the Couch, which is a show that demands... we have to
prepare.
To prepare ourselves.
I'm starting to understand what it's like to be him.
And that's the funny comment that he made once. He said, I know what it's like to be you now.
I'm starting to understand.
So, anyways, tomorrow is another show. And yes, Oxford Shortwave Log, hello there. This is not a new concept for the Shortwave show. It's let's just, make it different today. I think it's going to be nice to have it different. So, and that's kind of true. Carol T has a point there. The wideband radio show ends up most of the time talking more about shortwave than anything else. So, but I would do one thing though. I was thinking about regularly, from time to time when I feel like it, I'll fire up a Friday evening show, and I think that could be cool. Listening to satellites live. So we have, we'll take out the amateur satellites, the weather satellites, and we'll try to tune them in live on the radio. I think that could be cool. So nice to have everybody here. Hello there. What did I see? So hello, Oxford Shortwave. I saw. What did I see? I saw somebody new. Didn't I?
I don't know.
Yeah, I did
Maybe,
see.
yeah.
I think I saw Thomas Brogan. Is it possible? Yeah. Hello there, Thomas. Thomas Brogan, nice to have you on board. Pretty cool. Jerry's listening to the Ontario net on 3755 LSB. You want to try that? See if you can hear it here.
Which one?
3755 lower sideband. Hello there, the Vaults. Nice to have you on board. So usually when you're on a frequency like that, you should be close to the middle where there's the little dent.
Yeah, I know, but...
Yeah, but listen a little bit longer because depending on who's talking on the net, sometimes maybe you'll hear one station but not another one. So listen for a few minutes, maybe some you're not, but it's still...
Doesn't seem like we're hearing anything here.
Okay, so anyway, so you're watching, for anybody that wonders what this is the shortwave, usually what is the shortwave listening YouTube show. We are doing some shortwave listening anyways, but of a different kind, from the couch with Gabriel, which is my nephew, and basically he's got some newbie questions, and he's tuning around and just seeing what he can hear. And we're just having a lot of fun talking about shortwave also. And
3755, I cannot hear anything here.
Okay, 9475. Let's see if when 9475.
Well, now we have quite a good signal. Shoot it.
Actually, with this.
Now we have a good signal of 9475.
Okay, 9460, the jammer's still there. It sounds like a terribly distorted transmitter. Because when you listen to it carefully, the jamming on 9460, I have the impression of somebody that's talking in a very distorted voice. You're receiving Antarctica on 14101.10, Jerry? Where you are now? That was some fart, eh, Thomas? You had to open the window there in Scotland.
Yeah.
Hey, Tony. We're about to get at 2200 hours UT.
Yep.
It's kind of curious to see if this thing is going to end or not, but it doesn't seem like. That is one hell of a jamming or a signal there, spur. 94. All India Radio 9445 still coming in with a great signal. Want to make people hear a little bit.
The National Regulatory Authority of India gets national guidance by Global Health Body, World Health Organization for vaccine regulations and in Kazakhstan, 7 soldiers died after being hit by an avalanche during a military exercise in the southern region. Election Commission has issued a notice to Ms. B.K. Sasikala over her appointment as Interim General Secretary of AIADMK. The opening cell faction of the AIADMK had challenged her appointment in front of the court.
This sounds like Apu in The Simpsons.
It does. I think you're right, David, about the pattern and the modulation and that noise. I do think it is a badly modulated transmitter. Look, listen carefully. Think of somebody trying to talk but distorted.
Yeah, like a dollar store walkie-talkie. There is something through
There's
it.
Voice
There is voice through it, yeah.
So that is a very, very bad transmitter. That's a transmission from someone, and it's a very, very bad transmitter.
Like
Hey there, Richard Cook.
Kids playing with dollar store walkie-talkie.
Yep.
The signal is strong enough to go worldwide.
Well, they probably got a megawatt walkie-talkie there. You want to hear some Cuban spy numbers? Let's try it out. 10715. Yep, indeed.
Oh yeah, that's always cool.
Can you get my notepad? I need to take that down.
But can you actually believe that these means something to someone somewhere in the world?
Well, probably in North America, because they're really...
But, this means something to someone.
Spy transmissions. That's kind of cool.
Probably I've already been decoded anyway by someone too, but still.
Yeah, I agree, Carol. I think doing a satellite show would be fun.
On Stars 2755 LSB.
So we have HM01, the Cuban numbers, on 10715. Here's somebody talking.
3755 LSB, I do get something.
Yeah, it's probably Ontario. Ontars, I think, is the Ontario Radio Net or something. Sorry. So you see the mysteries of shortwave, listening to somebody that's sending out numbers to some spy somewhere.
Yeah.
We're right smack in the middle of, that James Bond type stuff,
Well, if the FBI comes through the door, you're responsible. I didn't do anything.
I didn't do anything. Because on 14101, there's a beacon from Antarctica. David Arden says, yes, listeners, use a one-time pad to decode the message.
The Enigma machine from the World War II.
So now the jamming, the distortion is very strong in Australia. Yeah, WTWW is actually better. For, on 9475 was stronger here too. Oops. Guys, listen to 9460. Put Brother Stair's voice in that distortion and listen to it a little bit. I don't know. But this is definitely a broken transmitter.
Yeah.
That's definitely a broken transmitter. So, for those that want to listen to a spy number station, 10715 is there right now. And they're sending me all their instructions for later this weekend.
Well, give me a second. I've got a text message to answer.
That's always mysterious
What was
stuff.
it? 21175? Okay, buddy.
That's code for I need another beer.
Well, I'm good enough right now.
You're not bad. Well, he's not, he likes alcohol, but he's not as drunk as me. He's not much of a drunk guy. And the message is buy more beer. Exactly. Cerveza, por favor. It says cerveza, por favor.
9420, what is it?
That's Greece.
Greece.
9420. We have a great signal. Greece is amazing. Don't put music, please. I'm going to get copyright notices.
From Greece.
From everywhere.
Oh boy.
The other day I put a video online with Saudi Arabia that had like a local Arabic artist. And the next morning I got, oh, well, your video cannot be seen in the following countries and monetization is disabled because of...
I mean, we've come away with what, Canadians kind of make out this one. But what does the Word of God say?
What does it say?
What does the Word of God say? 9395.
Yeah, True News. From WRMI. Okay, what else do we have if I tune around? I'm going to actually get another beer. And while I'm getting another beer, I got, I meant my Radio the Exer got copyright notices for green. I get copyright notices for, as soon as there's some music from whatever country and whatever artist. And, this week I got one that was funny. I put a pirate station video about a year ago, but it was so weak in the noise that you could barely hear something. And this week, I got a copyright notice saying, oh, by the way, there's a Metallica song on that video, and we have removed monetization. But it's so distorted and so bad that I'm just like, really? You can find there's a Metallica song in that noise?
The noise was sounding like a Metallica song.
So I will start another easy tuning mode on the Countycom GP5 to see what it gets. And I will get myself another beer.
All right.
And
so what choice do you have left? You still have a Fin du Monde?
I think I'll take
everything. You have everything.
I'll take a Fin du Monde.
Yeah,
or no, a Emodzit. I'll take the ones you don't like. Because we're gonna keep,
the terrible.
We'll keep that beer for the from the couch. So
okay.
I'm gonna take the bad one. So next week you'll have just the good one.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, so hope you guys are enjoying this kind of different and special show. And while I'm going, if you've got questions about shortwave for him,
oh yeah,
he's gonna answer with all of his knowledge.
Jeez!
Just be kind with him. You're okay on beer?
Yeah, I'm okay. I still have half a pint.
Oh.
Don't break your neck. I don't know what he did, but okay, he kicked the box. Better than kicking the bucket.
I just kicked the box.
Well, I don't want you to kick the bucket. Yeah, Carol, Jill just chose me to the Lions. Oh well. What I think of you guys, radio, well, that's pretty cool, It's something I don't do that often. I'm a geek guy in every way, so it's the kind of stuff I'm really open to, and I'm happy to be here. I'm discovering new stuff. It is really fun, and every time I come here, I discover new things. So yeah, that's pretty cool actually. That's pretty cool.
So another beer from the Damned.
Sensei is back.
Another beer from the Damned. So Maudit, which means damned, basically.
Damn it.
Well, it's more like damned. Maudit. Well,
Yeah.
depends how you take it. But you see there that it's a nice, very nice picture here of, you know, some kind of people going in hell or something.
Let's see what is the picture? It's the story in French, the La Chasse-Galerie.
Okay.
I don't know what's the story in English, but
okay.
you know, I'm not sure people want to hear this French Canadian story. If you do, just
you'll be surprised, you know.
Well,
you'll be really surprised.
If you want to hear a French Canadian story about the picture on the beer, just say you want to hear it on the chat. I don't mind. But,
Aeronautical on 10:0057. Let's
what is let's use Google Translate and see what maudit is in English.
It's like damned or something like that.
In English, it would no, not in French. I was in French. It would be cursed. Yeah, cursed. Cursed.
It's a cursed beer. That's the perfect word.
Yeah, cursed.
It's a cursed beer.
Yeah, of course.
So that's a cursed beer, by the way. And so I guess I won't be on Brother Stairs' list of people to save later in life. So I tried, by the way, Jerry, 14101 on my ICOM. I was curious to see if I could receive something. And but I'm not hearing anything over here. So 10057 San Francisco radio. Wow. I haven't heard that one. On 10:057, I remember hearing an African Parliament station, but
is Scotty trying to imitate us French Canadians?
Yes, tabarnouche.
Well, that's how an Indian would say it. Tabarnouche.
Maudit anglaise. Tabarnouche, les maudits.
What maudit anglaise?
En bon québécois, tabarnouche, les maudits anglais. That's how we would say it.
Yeah.
That basically means
tabarnouche d'anglais.
You know, not those English guys again or something like that.
Yeah. Right. How about we finish the show in French?
I think we're gonna lose a lot of people. Actually, you know, you go in French and then you notice that there's 3 times more people watching suddenly. Yeah, 94.45 All India Radio is booming in. Okay, EDM scan is finished.
Okay.
What am I receiving? Okay, 6090, a very distorted Caribbean beacon.
I got it.
That's religious, but it's from the island of Anguilla in the Caribbean.
Okay.
For the weather here, it's right now it's a little cold. We had like 2 feet of snow in 5 days. But now next week I see +5, +6, +7 Celsius, so we'll be in the 40s next week.
Right now we are at -4 Celsius.
Which is about 25.
26 Fahrenheit.
That wasn't too bad, 25. That wasn't too bad. So Caribbean Beacon on 5090.
Then
Frecuencia al Día, the DX program in Spanish on 6115. This one is coming from WWCR.
DX program, your cat is making a show?
Yes, it's DX program. I actually would like to understand Spanish better so I can follow. It sounds like a good DX show.
Para todos ustedes, vayan los mejores buenos deseos de parte de todos los amigos de Frecuencia al Día.
I'm gonna stop there.
Oh, it's the anniversary of Frecuencia al Día. Have you guys seen the copyright claim? Somebody posted, hey, that's Call Israel's their wall signal. Somebody actually posted a video with happy birthday, got a copyright claim from an obscure company that says that they own the rights to Happy Birthday. And now, even in TV shows, they sing all sorts of weird songs for the birthday because they're scared of using Happy Birthday when it's somebody's birthday. It's like, what the hell? Nobody owns the rights to Happy Birthday. What is that? So anyways, that company claims they own the rights to Happy Birthday.
Plateau did.
Jill, your Spanish is almost right there. A bit of a nudge here and there, and it'd be perfect. Well, you know what, David? I have a fantastic story with that. You know, I don't understand a lot of Spanish, and even though I have, coffee break Spanish on my phone.
Tu pene es pequeño.
And the funny thing is, I was working somewhere once, and this guy came from El Salvador. And I remember one morning, I look at him and I say, Hola, ¿cómo está? And he starts ranting this big phrase, this big paragraph in Spanish. And at the end, he starts laughing, and I'm like, and he goes away. Now, next to me, somebody's working, looks at me and said, you didn't understand a thing. And I said, no, not at all. But that person, because when I do use Spanish words, they are well pronounced in general. That person just thought, oh, he speaks Spanish. He doesn't speak Spanish like somebody that doesn't know how to speak Spanish. So, anyways, it's just funny. Okay. 6160 kilohertz. This is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, one of the few left shortwave outlets. This is in Newfoundland, Canada. St. John's, Newfoundland. And they are transmitting for the greater, more to the northern parts of Canada. And so CKZN
Eskimos have radio in their igloos?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But now they probably have high-speed internet, so.
Yeah. Connected to a polar bear butt?
Hey. Polar bears do a lot of electricity. Two polar bears rubbing together. Imagine all the static that comes out of that.
I won't say what I'm thinking.
You were ranting.
I won't say what I'm thinking.
I'm not talking about that type of rubbing themselves together.
That's not what I was thinking.
7405, Radio Marti.
Yep.
David, that's possible, 9350 kilohertz is. What's on 9350 kilohertz? I always mess up what. Can I search somehow here?
No. No.
I really have to go slide this like this all the time?
Yes.
Oh, here. No, that is. Can I get a slider?
No.
I can't even get a slider.
No, you cannot. That's an iPad.
Man. What is this thing? 9350.
Next time I'll take my tablet out.
9350 is WWCR in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, 9350 WWCR. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a bad transmitter. You see, Man Radio DXer hears music and speech very distorted. It really looks like a bad transmitter. Hey there, Keith, KB3UMX 73. So for the newbie here, KB3UMX is an amateur radio call sign.
Okay.
And 73 is a radio term to say hello.
Okay.
88 is for the women. Kisses.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes. Okay.
Send your lithium pills. The bipolar bears need them. Oh, man. So, True News 93.95 from WRMI. Greece. I'm amazed at the the good signal from Greece on 94.20. I can tell you that.
Won't you listen to this music all night?
Was I like really far off from the chat? Okay.
Oh yes, you were.
Wow. But then I saw that. Jingle bells copyright. Yeah, you know. Sometimes. Okay. Here, we're back down. Jeff says, I'm back. I like these long shows. You know what's the longest show we ever did?
5 hours?
Was one of those shows where we tuned the bands. And it was, something like 5 hours. We started at 3 p.m. and we ended at 8 p.m.
Oh my god.
It's like at 6 p.m. after 3 hours, I said, anybody wants me to continue? And the chat room just like, yeah. And we just continued.
Well, we have a strong 40 plus people watching, if we count both chat
Yeah, well,
rooms.
this is typical. And imagine if I had sent the emails, we probably would be higher than that. But the Friday show is always a little less than the Saturday one. The Saturday show will average more like 70 live views, which is cool.
Voice of Korea, 7570.
Yeah, you can try it, but I don't think you'll hear it here. But you know what? That's shortwave for you. On shortwave...
No, we don't hear.
On shortwave, you never say, don't do it, you won't hear it. Because you never know when sometimes you might hear something, actually. So, David says you would have to hear me trying to pronounce words in French. But I wouldn't dare to do this to you because your ears would bleed, and that's something
Well, you know,
very
that's something I read about once. A trait that we French Canadian here have is that with just a little bit of practice, we can imitate every accent in the world.
It's possible. It's possible.
Whether it is English, Spanish, Japanese, Korean, Chinese, we can imitate every accent in the world. That is a trait that only us have. Only we have.
I need to learn my Spanish.
I need to learn Japanese.
So what about we make a deal? Every week we force ourselves to at least 30 minutes of you Japanese and me Spanish.
I already do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I have to do it myself also.
Well, I watch anime long enough to learn a few words every week.
I watch anime, I'll just watch the pictures.
That's called hentai.
9555, that's Saudi Arabia. And yes, that will have a copyright notice if we let the music play on the channel.
Oh my god.
9555 Saudi Arabia. And thanks, Vols, for sharing the link. Hello there, SG2 is Nebraska. 9475 S9 plus 10 now. Excellent signal.
Sandman telling us that French Canadians are a lot easier to understand than the ones from France.
Wow.
Oh.
Really?
Oh.
Is that from experience?
Well...
Or is it because...
I don't want to talk against French people, but we do make an effort to have a French word for everything.
About French people. I think they're too snobby.
Well,
but
we do make an effort also to have a French word for everything.
We like everybody.
You know, in France, a parking lot is still parking. Here we have a word for it in French. We make an effort.
Okay. What else did I get? Radio Marti on 9565.
Yeah.
Oh, that I think is Midi 1 in Morocco on 9575. It's weak, but I think that's Morocco.
There is a little something through the noise.
9575 is Morocco, right? They sometimes have a little bit of French. 9575, yeah, Midi 1, Morocco. So we're listening to Morocco.
First time I hear it.
Hey there, Enoch Nevdal. Nice to have you on board. Pretty cool.
Enoch from the north.
Canada has the largest French population that never surrendered to the Nazis. Okay.
Oh boy.
That's Scotty Tier 6, by the way. That guy always has these little jokes
Well,
all through the show.
Well, we might have to surrender to a weird president in the U.S.
No, right now we're not listening in upper sideband. We're listening in AM mode. I can't believe how well we receive Spain on 96.9.
It's like listening to regular radio.
Radio Exterior de España is really, really good.
propios protagonistas del encuentro no han llegado ni siquiera a sentarse juntos, pues la cosa se pone más difícil.
We have it
A
in
eso se le
stereo.
añade todavía el hecho de que las poderosas
PLF parking lot, here we say stationnement.
no han tenido representante ninguno en los
Or we'll say, I have the stationnement.
Nah.
And actually, that's one thing that I've noticed with the French. I was watching a TV show on TV5 with a French host, and they were talking about parking in France, where here in Quebec we actually use the real word of stationnement.
Shopping. In France, it is shopping. Here we talk about magasinage.
Magasinage. Here we don't use that English word shopping. We say magasinage.
At McDonald's, in France, you still have to order McNuggets.
Really?
Or, yeah.
Really?
McNugget. Des McNuggets.
Okay.
I want some McNugget.
Here we want some croquettes or some.
I want to eat McDonald's now.
I actually ate some McDonald's for dinner. Nothing like going to the doctor's appointment and saying, "You're all fine, let's go to McDonald's now. I'm all right."
Well, apparently, like is it with Just Eat or some kind of apps that you can
Yeah,
order
you can
your
order from
McDonald's?
everybody now. It's like the Uber of
I want my McDonald's delivered
ordering.
at home.
I'd like to have my
There we
McDonald's.
go.
Actually, if we can do that, I want to do it. Order some McDonald's at home.
It costs like $3 more, but who cares?
I don't care. I'll have my Big Mac.
At minus
and fries.
25 Celsius, you want your McDonald's home.
I want to have my Big Mac with the fries and poutine.
Oh, and remember, in 4 days, we have breakfast every day.
24-hour breakfast.
In Quebec.
Woo! You know what? The first day that they have 24-hour breakfast, I'm going to eat breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
I have to.
My brother says you should try the plain cheeseburger with the hash brown potato in it.
Okay, I'll try that.
Try that.
Sounds a little... I was going to say sounds a little fat, but...
He tried it in the States. He tried it in the
You're
United
at McDonald's.
States.
Hey, Richard Tribble, nice to have you on board. Really cool.
A Mac restriction. Yes.
Yeah. Well, here's 6 months of Big Macs.
Oh boy.
And you should come back here every month after that.
Every day.
Gilles, can you hear HODL HFA car station from New Zealand on 10084? I've never heard any of these New Zealand stations of any kind. Actually, all the HF, A cars, the HF Volnets, I've never heard them from Asia or the Pacific area. So
There's nothing for it.
oh, of course you have to speak the language of the tourist to get dollars. That's for sure. That's why in Montreal everybody speaks English, or almost.
What?
Almost.
What? I missed something here.
What?
What you just said?
No, Scotty Tier 6 says you have to speak the language of the tourists.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, but the problem with that Super Size Me movie, come on. You're listening, you're eating just McDonald's 3 times a day. It's not fair. It's not fair to McDonald's. I'm sorry, that thing is not fair to Hey, Glenn Hauser's World Radio starting on 11580.
Yeah, I do have it.
Albania, Cayman Islands, Argentina, Australia, Canada, Colombia, Cuba,
So that guy
Iran,
is a
Ireland,
famous
Madagascar,
shortwave DXer. He's called Glenn Hauser, and he's got this 30-minute show where he talks about shortwave and only shortwave every week.
Standard display.
Okay. But you're better than him.
Well, he's got a lot of news, so you know he's good. He's different from me. He's good for what he does. Oh yeah, Harp is coming back, by the way, and that's what he's talking about. Harp is a research. It's a major transmitter research in Alaska. It was owned by the U.S. government. They tested it, and now because they had no funding, it was shut down. The University of Alaska actually bought it, and they're going to put it back on the air. So they're going to test all sorts of things with that. That really, it's a huge array of antennas with transmitters, located right smack in the middle of the woods somewhere in Alaska.
There is wood in Alaska?
Yeah, wood and snow.
Okay. Wood and snow.
What? There's wood and snow. So, you know, it's like northern Quebec. So 11580, Glenn Hauser's World Radio.
That's cool.
Richard says Glenn Hauser's S9 plus 10. Pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised at how well we receive stuff smack here just with 2 wires and all the computers around us. They're really amazing. Wow, you hear Glenn Hauser, Steve, in Australia. And that's transmitted from WRMI out in Florida. And it's propagating to Australia. Propagation is amazing today. Really amazing. Okay, I was wondering why I was hearing 2 voices on 11580. It's because the other radio is still on with the volume up a little bit. So I was like, what the hell is that other station on this frequency? No, it's because this radio is on another frequency.
Radio Havana trying to go through Glenn Hauser.
Oh, man. But you should hear it. It's kind of funny when he starts ranting against Brother Stare, or what he called Brother Scare. He calls him Brother Scare. And then Brother Stare talks about Jesus, and then at some point says, it's not like that Glenn Hauser guy that's always talking against me. Well, I spend a lot of money in these broadcasts and blah, 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 blah. It's like, wow, okay. Ranting against each other. Man.
But if God loves you, you shouldn't be complaining.
So, yeah, but what's the K-index right now? We need to know what's the K-index right now. And, of course, you don't know what the K-index is.
No.
So let me do another 101. Let's try not to bring out the porn stuff. So DX, let's go to dx.qsl.net. And here we have propagation. So right now, it's a K-index of 3, a solar flux of 75, A-index of 18. So what do these numbers mean? Solar flux is the solar activity, if you want.
Okay.
That number goes from 60 to 400.
Okay.
So at 75, you can imagine that solar activity is not very strong right now. And that's because we are on the downside of the solar cycle now.
Okay.
And that number has a huge effect on shortwave propagation.
Yeah.
The higher the number, the higher the frequency, you'll be able to hear signals propagating through the ionosphere.
Okay.
K-index is the second one that's very important. That's the state of the geomagnetic field around Earth.
Okay.
From 1 to 9. What's nice, it has colors. You see it's yellow.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's kind of unsettled. If it be green, that means it would be quiet. You want to have green when you're listening to shortwave. It's better usually.
Okay.
And if you see K at 8 on a scale of 1 to 9, you go outside and you look for the aurora borealis because they're somewhere out there. Okay. In Montreal, you have to have K index of above 7. Usually, there's aurora borealis somewhere in the sky.
Okay.
If you're at La Concepcion, which is that place far, far away, a K index of maybe 5 or 6, you should see aurora borealis.
Okay.
Probably. So right now, K3, unsettled. 75, rather low. That's really a low number. But so that's for your education purposes.
Maybe it will serve me into a quiz show someday.
Who knows? You know, who wants to be a millionaire? What is the solar flux index? Oh, it's solar activity. Yes, for $1 million. Woohoo! What else do we have here? 9:30 a.m. in Australia. Can you believe that?
Yeah, it's 14 hours difference.
It's Saturday morning.
Yeah.
It is Saturday morning.
At 9:30 a.m., I'm gonna be working.
Oh yeah, you work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Here we're at here it's 5:30, 5:36 p.m.
on
so
Friday.
Friday late afternoon. So basically this is Friday evening, drinking beers and going out to bars and doing stuff. We're pretty much there. It feels like time travel sometimes, when you think about it. Each Saturday morning and we're Friday evening. It's like having a.
Well, when you go in these countries, Japan and Australia, from here you lose a day, but when you come back, you gain.
Well, you guys, I have a story you guys are gonna find funny. Nobody noticed, thank God. I like these little stories. On Christmas Eve, of course, all the family and friends came over. And I use a different browser for porn stuff to make sure that I don't, accidentally go to porn stuff when people are here. So I always, never use that browser usually. But that day, I think it's my sister-in-law that wants to see something, and it doesn't work on Microsoft Edge. So I bring up my browser that I usually use to do bad stuff, and
you a bad boy.
It's okay when it starts up because it's just that innocent-looking Google page, but the mistake that I did.
I'm sorry, there's a hoot in the room.
The mistake that I did, it was I opened a new tab, and when you open a new tab in Firefox, it has all these miniatures of what you did in the past 24 hours, and all you could see is the porn stuff. Oops. And I was like, oh my God, but you know what? It just nobody noticed. Everybody was just talking. So I just okay, yes, I should use the incognito feature. I know that.
So if you're interested, there's a hoot in the room.
Hoot. That sounds weird.
Hoot.
Hoot.
This little owl on one feet.
Okay.
When you have enough candy, it will evolve into a noctowl.
So we're really playing Pokemon Go while we're doing a live show right now?
Well, I am. You don't have to.
Okay. I want to thank John Clinton for a PayPal donation, by the way. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. And, okay.
Well, it appeared.
What do I see?
It was toward the end of the street. It was toward the end of the street.
Uh-huh.
Really? Yeah, you got it. Woot.
Oh, yeah, I got 7 or 8 yesterday.
If you have enough of these, it will evolve into an octowl.
Okay. I yesterday, while taking my walk, I saw 5 or 6 of these.
Yeah.
Sorry for sharing my porn story with everyone.
But please, you don't know what you're watching.
Yeah, well.
And I don't want to know it either.
I don't think nobody wants to know what everybody's watching. Man.
Well, it could be interesting sometimes.
Okay, let's share our favorite porn sites.
What are your fetishes?
That could be a show that could be have a lot of views. Let's talk about our favorite porn sites. Live tonight.
Peggy 18s.
Pigs.com. What? What is pigs.com?
Animalfarm.com.
Oh, that's horrible.
You know that woman with the horse and the guy with the sheep.
Rooster.com. Okay, so we're talking about shortwave, I think. We're losing people now because they're like, what the hell, these guys are...
Well, isn't it the Chinese year of the rooster? Or the
Yes, it is. But
rooster or chicken?
anyways,
I don't know.
No, it's a rooster.
Rooster?
Which is technically kind of a chicken. I remember when the only porn was with a real girl in the room.
When it was the Sears catalog.
Oh man.
Victoria's Secrets.
I don't know with who I was talking about that. We were talking about when we were young, and I don't remember who at the bar that we go to. I remember that he said, "Oh, I would take out the Sears catalog," and I was like, "Okay."
And hug the ladies in the catalog.
Sears catalog.
When you hug the ladies in the Victoria's Secret catalog,
Why
you have a
is
problem.
your Sears catalog sticky?
I hate funny toast.
Let's do another easy tuning mode. What do you think about that?
Yeah, we have to be serious sometimes.
So, okay, you want to have, you're going to get yourself another beer?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, easy tuning mode. We're going to let it scan through on the GP5. And we'll see what it brings us. Well, I have to flag this video as 18 years or over now.
Anything?
No, I'm, well, I don't know. Hey, I'm drinking real fast, eh?
Yeah, but that's your third already. So watch out.
Wow, okay.
Well, I can take out Terrible and we split it in half.
Okay, that's a deal. So we'll try the Terrible. A 10.5% beer?
Oh my god, yes.
Okay.
Be right back.
What I mostly find funny is when, people just get offended by that. And, I mean, come on. Guys are guys, and, it's just the normal part of life. So, well, you should see at St. Catherine West, Scotty Tier 6. It's now pretty much run down and battered. It's like, it's not what it used to be in 20 years ago. Downtown Montreal isn't what it was before. It doesn't look as nice as before. A lot of stores are closed down and everything. It's sad to see. So Sandman X wants to leave work and get a beer. Oh man. So you are watching the Shortwave Show. I am actually letting the easy tuning mode scan through. Anybody listening to interesting signals right now? Yeah, that is locker room talk. Yep, that's pretty much what it is. That's either locker room talk or just, with your best friends and you're having a few beers at the bar. That's the type of talk.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very interesting. I don't like talking about that, but when Trump was elected president, the BBC was the next day at a bar in Nebraska, and the BBC guy asked them if it was, what it was. How they didn't get offended at how Trump talks about women. And one of the guys there just looked at the BBC guy and said, well, if you stay here for an hour or two, you'll see that we all talk like that here. Mentioning that, that doesn't offend us. We talk like that all the time. It's like, it's just it's not out in the open and on TV.
Mm.
But it's true that bar talk or, any type of, very close friends talk isn't always
clean.
first grade. It's like, so what is it?
This is
what
a
did
terrible,
a terrible
10.5% black ale.
10.5% black ale.
Yeah.
Whew.
It even has a golden seal.
A golden seal. And what did it say in the back? Did it say something special in the back?
No, black ale. Belgian style black ale.
It's a Belgian style black ale.
This is the bottle we're gonna drink. I'm scared.
Hey, I got an idea, guys. By the way, I'm looking at your chat there. What about we do? Okay, I'm gonna do a Kickstarter. Every time Brother Stare has a show on a shortwave channel, I do a show about sex just after.
Kickstarter.
We're gonna talk about porn just after Brother Stare just leaves the air.
I'm game.
That would be interesting.
Kickstarter, and we need what? Kickstarter, and we would need what? 5,000?
Oh man.
$5,000 Kickstarter.
And now that Brother Stare is over, here's the porn show.
So you're ready?
Yeah, for the terrible.
Yeah, it's gonna be terrible.
Yes, All India Radio ends at actually should be ended now.
Well, it smells like beer.
Let me just smell it. It doesn't smell that bad. Some beers smell like skunk or stuff.
Yeah. So think your last few droplets.
It doesn't smell that bad. Okay, and that's 10.5%. So we're gonna be really, really hammered.
Well, this is okay. This is tar falling in my glass.
Okay. Oh man. PLF says 9470. There's a radar on the U20.
Pour it yourself. You'll see it feels like tar.
Okay, it's kind of thick.
Yeah. Pour it yourself.
Oh man, I see it just by moving the bottle. This is
intense.
What the hell is that? It's like being at the gas pump and petrol is coming out of the.
Wow.
Okay, wait. You want more?
I don't know.
Are you not sure?
I'm not sure.
You will have what's left.
Oh my
so we're
God.
pretty much.
Okay,
Okay, I got a big collar now, but
we can wait for it to settle down.
well, let it settle down a little bit, okay?
But oh my God.
All India Radio usually ends at 22:30. Yes, it does look like Guinness. Guinness looks like this.
Yeah, Guinness is a black ale.
Have you noticed that when you put, we have like a 400 watt spot in our face, and we put it up to the spot, and we don't even see through it. We don't even see through it.
Oh my, that's scary. There's no light coming through the beer.
This is amazing. I mean, come on, this is really. Wow.
What are we drinking?
I can't even see the light through it. This is something.
This is a black hole in the beer.
Okay, smell it. Smells like.
It smells like Guinness, kind of.
Yeah, but think about it 2 seconds. Cassonade. What's cassonade? Yeah.
Brown sugar.
Brown. Well, yeah, maybe like molasses. Yeah, molasses. And it does have a molasses type smell to it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So the noise just cleared, as Scotty Tier 6 said.
Oh.
So, liquid tar. So, welcome to the Let's Taste Beer show. That could be another show that's interesting. What do you think about that?
What about sex with beer?
Sex with beer. Well, on YouTube, you can't really have sex. Actually, I'm not going to say that because Scotty Tier 6, you know what? That guy, one day, we're talking about there's no sex on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, you told me the
and
story.
he posts this video, and I'm like, since then, I'm scared of clicking any links that Scotty Tier 6 has to post in the chat room. Beer, sex, radios, and Windows 10 show. Wow, that's really a strange mix. You know, it's like, well, in the last Insider show, I was taking my girlfriend's boobs, and I noticed that my beer didn't taste the same. That's the kind of mix that would do. So cheers.
Cheers to you.
And good luck. If we're still alive.
If you want to vomit, here's my hat.
Well, I don't think I will, but I think this is, you know what? It could be very surprising.
Yeah, of course.
10.5%. So I will show you. Just the label is kind of scary.
Yeah.
So
I believe it is limited edition.
Yeah, PLF says also the noise is gone on 9470, around 95, 9600. So this is
terrible, terrible.
Terrible.
La terrible
But
de Unibrew.
Terrible in English would be
Terrible. Terrible.
There must be a better term for terrible.
Let's ask Google.
There must be a better term,
Because
something that we can use that is more, because terrible is like, terrible doesn't mean terrible. For me, terrible in English is not...
Scary? No.
No. Terrible in French, the way I see this name is more like something that is...
It will give you this kind of reaction. Like,
incredible. Kind of...
Incredibly scary.
Or just like incredibly surprising, or I don't know. Maybe that's...
But in a bad way.
But I don't see terrible as a bad thing in that name. That's funny.
No, but I do see the word itself.
Well, we'll drink
Anyway.
it, and we'll give our own judgment on what terrible should be.
The puke hat is here.
So,
cheers.
What is that puke hat?
Movistar.
Movistar.
If you live in Europe, you might have a chance to know what this is.
That's why, because if that was his like Formula One type thing,
I can buy another.
Okay. Yeah, maybe shocking. Shocking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shocking would be a good word.
It's actually surprising.
Yeah, doesn't taste like black ale.
It actually tastes better than Fin du Monde.
I was ready for a Guinness.
This is actually... Think about drinking something that has some molasses mixed to... It does have that taste.
Well, I never drank molasses.
You never tasted molasses?
Not really.
You never tasted molasses?
Well, I tasted cookies, molasses cookies, but...
Okay, but no, it's different.
But...
Okay, you need to taste molasses. I'm gonna... Okay, after the show, I think I'm gonna check it out, because I think I have molasses here. So I think I'm gonna check it out.
We're making molasses cookie after the show.
Well, cheers.
Cheers to you.
It is kind of surprising for 10.5.
Yeah. But I'm scary of what will happen to us after the show.
Well, actually, we should be scared because you work tomorrow and I also work because I have a tech duty in the morning.
If I leave by...
And I have a live show at 3 p.m.
If I leave by 8 p.m., I'm going to be fine.
So if you guys see that I'm not really in shape tomorrow night, that's because we stayed a little longer drinking.
No, I'll try to leave by 8:30, 9 p.m. maximum.
8:30 tomorrow morning?
Yeah. Yeah, I will be working at 8:30 tomorrow morning.
Oh, man.
I get up at 7 a.m. every weekend.
Okay.
And I actually started looking for a new job.
What?
Well, I like my job, but I'm tired of waking up.
Really? You started looking for something else?
Well,
you know.
Maybe not this winter, but
How long have you been working at that job?
Last week of May, it's going to be 6 years.
6 years, man.
And you know, because...
I've never stayed...
This is a slice of life. I work in a retirement house with old people. I'm a waiter in the dining room. And I have minimal wages, and they don't have to leave any tip. Which, you know, is basically fine because I live like 15 minutes away, and it's alright. But, you know, I'm almost 25, and I'm starting to need some money somehow.
Really?
Yeah, seriously. And I'm telling myself, you know, 5 years as a waiter, any restaurant in the world, I will make double than what I make now. So, you know, maybe not now, but by by next winter, I have a new job.
You want to know how desperate somebody is? When somebody wants to make live shows with his uncle that's ranting about the fact that he doesn't have any money, that's how desperate somebody is.
Yeah.
Oh man. So easy tuning mode. 6090 Caribbean Beacon.
Pero que sí sucede y además entras en un mundo manejado y dominado.
I don't know if it's still Frecuencia Al Dia, but 61515 WWCR. You were 25 in 1981, Scotty here 6.
I will be 25 the 12th of March.
I was 25 in 1994.
By the way, we have to discuss our birthday party. We have to discuss our birthday party.
Oh yeah, I haven't checked that out, 5150, because that's true. There's a pirate on 5150, and often he relays my shows. Is there something on 5150? And here's a trick of the old guys. Okay? You hear nothing.
Yep.
Sometimes there's a weak signal in the noise, but you don't know. So what you do is you put it in upper sideband, and you tune just 1 kilohertz below, so 49. If you hear nothing, there's nothing. If you hear a slight tone in the background, like that means there's something on 5150, but it's too weak. It's in the noise.
Okay.
So that's another trick that you'll never use again, but still. So I was 25 in 1994, a long time ago.
I was 2.
89 was 25. William Hells was the man. That's why we're listening to shortwave. You know, it's like amazing. So nothing on 5150 man radio DXer by the way. And David in Barcelona is 24.
Seriously, Raptor 24?
Yeah, he's a young guy. He's a young guy in Spain.
The young guy listening to shortwave.
Richard Dribble, I was 1 year old in 1945. Now do the math. Oh, man. Turkey in English on 5960. Let's check it out. Got to remove these things, the sideband. Oh, yeah, that's their interval signal.
Yeah.
That will not give me a copyright notice, by the way. So, Voice of Turkey with its interval signal on 5960.
Yeah, we do hear it.
Cool to hear Turkey. You know? I've listened to Turkey a little more recently with all the things that are happening over there. So Voice of Turkey, 5960 kilohertz. Do I wish I was back at 25 years old? I would not go back at 25 years old if I had to go back with no knowledge and what I was like when I was 25. But with all the knowledge and the self-confidence, and I would, yes. And instead of having the live shows starting like in 2012, I probably would have been the first to do live shows in 1999. In real media.
Romania 7220, we have a little something.
Romania 7220?
Yeah, but there's a lot of noise.
Yep, interval signals there. Romania is made, that broadcast for Romania is by the way a broadcast for Europe.
Yeah, I figured it out already.
Vous êtes des enfants, mais des enfants heureux.
Des enfants de Dieu.
Des enfants de Dieu. Hello there, Marco Fernand. Nice to have you here. Yep. Radio Romania starting up, 7220. Voice of Turkey starting up on 5960. PLF says 5960 clear. PLF also says 7220 clear. Hey there, Richard in Atlanta, Georgia. Nice to have you on board. Also says 5960 S9 and 7220 S9. So pretty cool to have everybody on board.
Oh, we've been on for 3 hours already.
Yeah, well, that's the usual for shortwave stuff.
I mean, time goes just so fast.
It does go very, very fast.
It feels like an hour to me.
It does. Live shows is, and yesterday, you know what? I have now somebody that understands what I say. When I say to you guys, it feels like the room is full of people with the chat rooms. And when the show ends, I suddenly feel alone.
Yeah.
It does give us that feel. It's funny, eh? It's almost as if you guys were really here in the room. And that, I gotta say, is something that I was thinking about and saying, well, it's just a chat room, but the chat room is so immersive. There's so much interaction. It's just cool.
Yeah.
It's just cool. Emergency action message on 6729. Okay. In upper sideband, by the way. And just to give you an idea, that's the U.S. Air Force frequency.
I don't get anything.
And EAM, well, it's the intermittent. Probably when he posted it, it was there. Oh, 6739.
Well, now.
Yep. Yeah. 11175 is even stronger. So this is the U.S. Air Force sending out what we call EAMs, emergency action messages. So this is meant for somebody in the U.S. Air Force. So that's another part of the shortwave listening. We listen to the U.S. Army, the U.S. Air Force.
Now the CIA have even more reason to come here.
Yeah, and by the way, if you guys want to listen to the U.S. Air Force EAM, emergency action message, 6739, 11175, 8992, 15016, sorry, are all frequencies of, they have exactly the same broadcast. By the way, you were on 11175.
Yeah.
I was on 8992, and you see, it's exactly the same message. And it's the same thing as 6739. So that's the U.S. Air Force. So that's cool. You can tell somebody that one day you had a radio and you could listen to the U.S. Air Force, and they're going to say, get out of here, you need multi-million-dollar radios for that.
Or get a life.
Well, or just understand a little more of all of about what's possible. Here, another message. What was the name? This is... Because when you Google the name, you actually go, Google sends you to the Air Force web pages, and you know where he is and what air base he is at, and all of that.
Yeah, we cannot hear it really well. So.
We're listening for our messages. PLF is hearing 6604, the Canadian Volmet or the New York Volmet on U-20. Yeah, they often come from Andrews Air Force Base, yes.
But my question, if these are emergency messages and it's the US Air Force, why use something that anyone can hear
Yeah,
all
but
the
it's still
time.
encoded. You have no idea
Yeah.
what that is.
Yeah, but still.
Because that's a way of, that you know what? That shows you that shortwave still has uses for easily sending out a signal to as many people in
Yeah.
their community, basically, their service.
True.
The most exciting message I've ever heard on that, is what? It was the ID was Air Force One.
Okay.
And you know what that is?
Yeah.
That's the president's plane. So that means for one time in my life, many years ago, I actually received a message that was directly from the president's plane. That was kind of cool. You're listening to something that comes from the president's plane.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I believe that, Scotty.
Heavily out or something like that. 4625, I'm not sure on portable. I've never heard the buzzer on a portable receiver. But we're going to try it. 465 upper sideband. I don't hear anything.
I don't either. No.
604 is non-existent for me. Huh. Okay. Oh. Radio Havana, Cuba in Spanish on 13740. Well, that must have been cool. Steve says they a long time ago organized a phone patch. Wow, that's cool. That means there was a phone conversation. Richard's going for another beer. You know what? I'm getting drunk now.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here and I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of starting to be drunk.
Well, you're drinking faster than me.
Yeah, I'm a little fast. I got what, one beer more than you? I think it's one beer more than you.
No, we have the same. No, you got one more.
No, I got one more.
You got one more, yeah.
I got one more. Hey there, Konmaka. Nice to have you on board.
Usually this is a sign that, we are nearing the end of...
Really, you think?
Well, before you get naked on the table...
Red Wayne says drunk is good. Drink up, boys. Everybody wants us to... the more we drink, the more they like it.
Well, I did bring my Disaronno bottle.
You brought Disaronno today?
Just in case. In case it's... I thought a 6-pack would not be enough, but we have 12 bottles, so... It will be. We already have enough.
Reach Beyond Australia. I've never heard Reach Beyond Australia. And I'm sure 9865 is not coming in line. Konmaka likes your shirt.
I hope it's mine, not his.
Well, I've got a...
plain shirt.
Plain shirt.
Yeah, it's from the X-Files, actually.
5505, Richard, Atlanta, Shannon, Volmet. I just tried it 2 seconds ago. The Royal Air Force from the UK on 5450. And I'm not hearing anything at all.
Me neither.
They often come in pretty strong. I'm surprised I don't hear nothing. And Shannon Volmet in Ireland on 5505. Nothing at all either. If we tune around the 49 meter band, let's check it out. 49 meter band. WWCR 5935. Turkey on 5960, but kind of weaker than it was before. China Radio International from Cuba on 5990. You gotta listen to 6115. You gotta listen to that guy. Alex Jones on 6115.
Anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-liberal garbage. Calling yourself liberal. Supporting China that kills Muslims because they're Buddhists and sells their organs and that wants to censor America and is buying them Hollywood.
What is that? Okay, you know what?
I agree.
That guy is a nut job, but he's entertaining. Alex Jones, nut job on 6115. Oh, man.
Request every day, obviously, the New York Times, you name it. Almost every day for the New York Times. Hundreds of writers. And the lady comes, the local law photographer.
6115 we are.
She's real nice here, about 45 minutes. And then she's leaving, and I said, hey, give me your card or your info. And, sometime maybe take photos for us. She said, oh, for money, right? She's been real nice until that point. And I said, well, of course, yeah, we pay people. I was like, oh, are you... Oh, because we're Trump supporters, you probably could. She goes, yeah, I can't be politically involved with something like that. I said, even if we don't put your name on it? I said, I'm not begging you to come take photos for us, but, is it you're being bullied? You might lose your liberal contracts? And she was just basically, without saying yes, kind of nodded her head. I just looked at her, and it just was a bad feeling that we're in a cult.
Cult.
The left is here with Robert Rodriguez.
Hey there, Josh Brooks.
Communities here in Austin. People walk in here and they go,
This guy is a cult by himself.
Oh, but you know what? You tune him, and it's like you gotta listen because it's just too crazy.
That's special.
This is a mafia, in my view.
Rich in Atlanta is receiving 4214 WLO channel marker. So let's check it out. 4214. Not receiving it. I do receive 8420 probably. Well, there's some digital mode on 8421. I hear SVO in Greece on 8424.
I hear it.
The Morse code says SVO, which is the call sign of the maritime station in Olympia, Greece.
Okay.
So this is a maritime marker, so that when ships listen in, they find it easily. And sometimes there are messages through this for ships at sea.
Okay.
So that's another thing that you just learned. Maritime stations on...
Be careful, sirens on the way. Make a detour.
Any pirate stations? No pirates. I don't hear any pirates anyways. So, hey guys, we're going to do a last easy tuning mode with the GP5. And after that, I think we're going to call it quits. Because we're getting drunk. And if we want to be coherent and know what we're saying, I think that would be an important
You
thing.
never know what you're saying anyway.
Yes, I know. According to some other channel, I'm an idiot, so... Anyways, I wonder who's the idiot.
Oh, I wonder why you blocked me.
So, one last time, guys. I'm sorry. I know it's a little advertisement, but... oops. The PayPal for donations. If anybody wants to do a little something, it really helps me a lot.
Hello, Shady Pyro.
Hello there, Shady Pyro 90. Nice to have you on board. It's always cool. W1KBN on 7185 lower sideband. So 40-meter band. Yeah, it sounded like Apple something, Mad Radio DX. You're right. You're right. So nice to have everybody here. So you see the sustained viewers here are higher than the sustained viewers than of other shows. And it's kind of interesting though because Richard in Atlanta, Georgia, here's 6925. There's a parent station very, very faint in Atlanta, Georgia. And he's got the SVO channel marker on S4 on 8420. Ain't hearing anything here. Maybe the noise is too high. Can't tell you that. You are watching the live shortwave show, and tonight it's a little different. My nephew Gabriel is here, and it's really, special little show, different from the usual. I thought it was kind of fun to do something different.
Yeah,
that feels good. And he's done some listening and found out that we listen to not just obscure signals, but there's some real interesting stuff.
I am interested in that kind of stuff.
And yes, I am on Patreon.com. Patreon.com. When I start not being able to write something with my keyboard, it may be a sign that you have to really
ask Cortana to write it.
Radio and computers. Radio and computers. So
with an S.
Patreon.com/radio and computers is my Patreon.
Yeah.
Here it is. And you can, of course, give me a little something.
And if any of you guys like video games, follow my channel, The Proud Geek.
Proud Geek. He's got a nice little channel called The Proud Geek. Has video game news, pretty much. It's pretty much video game news every day.
I try to do other stuff, but it's not easy with university and
all sorts of...
my family situation. We'll call it.
What family situation are you talking about?
I'll keep it for myself.
Sometimes, I rant about I don't have enough money, but I gotta say...
There is worse than you.
There's so much worse.
There is worse.
There's so much worse. But, hey, Super 20 Dan, nice to have you on board. Pretty cool. So, last little tuning of the bands. We're almost over at ETM. So, let's check out what did it receive this time. Okay, it got 4005 kilohertz, which is some radio teletype.
Oh well.
And then it got, oops, go back to ATM. Cuba, well, China Radio International via Cuba, 5990. Alex Jones, 6115.
So I might as well tell people.
He's got to tell people.
How wild this guy is and how real he is. He likes to talk to average people so much, he sits at the switchboard until 2 in the morning while he's reading things and randomly sits there and picks up
Next.
the phone.
6175,
in Spanish,
which I think is China Radio International in Spanish via Albania. 7435. 7435 is Radio Marti from the United States. Let's not do that one. 9650. I don't know if it's Radio Guinea that's still there, but there's a carrier.
We don't hear much.
11580. WRMI in Okeechobee, Florida.
Cleanse the death out of the life of that Jewish.
Radio Havana, Cuba in Spanish on 13740. And that's pretty much it. What are you receiving? Alert, alert.
Oh, it's a texto from our friend, and I don't know what she means.
What?
I don't know what she means.
What the hell is that? Anyway, so hey everyone. I think we're going to call it off. We've been on for 3 hours and 20 minutes.
I think I get it.
Okay.
She must have called a Chikorita, Totodile, or Cyndaquil.
Okay. So, hey, tomorrow is a shortwave show. I'm going to end the checking out the different receivers that I got at home. So if you guys enjoyed that show last time, I'm gonna continue with checking out every little radio that's left in the collection. So tomorrow at 2000 hours UTC, 3 p.m. Eastern. Hope you guys enjoyed this show. Really passed quickly, 3 hours and 20 minutes. Thank you everyone for being here. You guys are fantastic.
Thank you for enduring me.
And the newbie was here. It was kind of cool. And hope everybody is around tomorrow. So Richard Dribble says 3455. Aero frequency is very strong. Take care, everyone. Merci, Gabriel.
Ça fait plaisir.
Thank you very much. And see you tomorrow for those that follow me. And we've got tons of shows next week. Tech show for me on the Windows channel, 3 p.m. Eastern, Tuesdays, 2000 hours UT. The Windows Insider show, 6 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday, and 2300 hours UT. Thursdays, we have From the Couch, which is like this, but we talk about tech and gaming. 4 p.m. Eastern, 2100 hours UT. Take care, everybody. Love you.
Been a pleasure.
Always cool to have everybody on board. Bye, guys.
See you soon.
And girls. And see you soon. And thank you for being here.
Pleasure.